We're live.
Call to order. Time is 7:05 p.m. Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, using the flag in the front corner of the room.
To the
Flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Here.
Vice Mayor DeVille.
Here.
Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
We have quorum.
All right. Additions, deletions, and withdrawals to the agenda.
Mayor, I have an item. I'd like to add interim police chief.
All right, where would you like to put it?
Old business.
Okay, we'll call it 11 or 11.2. Interim police chief.
All right.
Ray, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
I have two items, sir.
11.3?
11.2.
I have two items, sir. I've added to the agenda 10.12, which is an upgrade for the cloud security.
Okay.
So that one was added on after the agenda was posted.
Okay.
And the second item that we need to add is a vote for the pension board, for the pension items that Ms. Rosen brought forth to you earlier today.
All right. How about we make that
Since she's already made the presentation, sir,
yeah, I'm trying
you
to-
might want to put it right there under presentations.
call it 5.3.
Okay.
All right, I have a couple items. And I think I'm going to put it in those items. All right, let's make this 10.05 and put BSO.
What number did you say, sir?
10.05.
10.05.
Oh, so
We're
you're,
gonna put it at the top of,
new business?
yep.
Okay.
Then, let's see.
And you said that one was BSO?
Yep. And then 10.13. And that will be hire, COPS More grant, hiring of 5 police officers. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
We'll make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we have proclamations we're going to give this evening. And the first proclamation is for National Public Works Week. So it's whereas public works professionals focus on the infrastructure, facilities, emergency management, and services that are a vital importance to sustainable and resistant communities, we need, and for public health, high quality of life, and the well-being of the people of the town of Pembroke Park. And whereas these facilities and services cannot be provided without the dedicated efforts of the public work professionals who are federally mandated first responders, the engineers, the managers, the employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for improving, protecting our water supply, our water treatment, our solid waste systems, our public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. Whereas in the public interest for the citizens, civil leaders, and children of the town of Pembroke Park to gain knowledge and maintain ongoing interest and understanding with the folks and importance of public works, first responders, and the public works programs in their respective communities. Whereas the year of 2022 marks the 62nd Annual National Public Works Week sponsored by American Public Works Association and Canada Public Works Association, and be it now resolved, we, Jeffrey Jacobs, myself as Mayor, Vice Mayor Renault DeVille, and Clerk Commissioner William Hodgkins, do hereby designate the week of May 15th, 2022 as National Public Works Week. I urge the citizens to join and pay tribute to the public works professionals, engineers, managers, employees, and recognize the substantial contributions they make to protect our health, safety, and quality of life. I'd like to thank our public works staff for the town, from director on down.
Mayor, you have it on the other folder. They're already signed. They're just missing your signature, actually.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
Mine, give me that back. Thank you. Oh, here we go. One more. Is the air on in here? Okay. Municipal Clerks Week, May 1st through May 7th, 2022. Whereas the Office of the Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital important government, exists through the world, and whereas the Office of Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the Office of the Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, local governing bodies, agencies, and government at other levels. Whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be mindful of their neutrality and impartiality regarding their equal services to all. Whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of the local government and community. Whereas the municipal clerks continually strive to improve administration of the affairs of the Office of Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and other annual meetings in their state, province, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas the most appropriate that we recognize, whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Municipal Clerk Now, therefore, we, Mayor Jacobs, myself, Vice Mayor Renaud DeVille, and Clerk Commissioner William Hodgkins, and the town of Pembroke Park do recognize the week of May 1st through May 7th, 2022 as Municipal Clerks Week, and recognize that the Florida Association of Clerks, the FACC, and Professional Association of Florida Municipal Clerks is celebrating its 50th anniversary. I further extend appreciation to our clerk's office and the town clerk, Marlon Martell, and all the municipal clerks for their vital service they perform and exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Thank you, town clerk.
Welcome.
All right. Did I see Michelle come in? Hey, Michelle, come on up here. Everyone, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Michelle Grooms, who's been our BTR representative for the town of Pembroke Park. After 31 years of service, Michelle has retired. This is a proclamation for her retirement. Whereas Michelle has served the town's administration departments for over 31 years, whereas her career has been diverse, as it has been exemplary as a board clerk, a working customer service and administration, and in accounts payable in the finance department, and most recently, our building administrator. Whereas Michelle has committed countless hours assisting with the design and startup of the new billing system, whereas her drive to constantly improve the business tax receipt has yielded benefits far too extensive to enumerate, and whereas Michelle has always been a mentor, sharing her knowledge and encouraging staff. Whereas Michelle's can-do attitude, mentally confidence, friendly demeanor, and unwavering dedication to her work will greatly be missed. Now, therefore, we, Mayor Jeff Jacobs, myself, Vice Mayor Renaud DeVille, and Clerk Commissioner William Hodgkins, by the virtual and the authority vested in the town of Pembroke Park, do hereby extend the gratitude of Michelle Grooms on her special occasion for her retirement after 30 years of dedicated service to the town of Pembroke Park. Congratulations on your retirement. Okay. We have a plaque presented to you. Just want to come up and we'll get a picture together here.
Mayor, can you put the microphone a little closer to you? You're going to have to hug it for some reason. It's not working today.
Okay. Number 6, public comments related to the agenda items and good and welfare. Will you invite our first person up since you have the list?
Yes, the first person is Ricardo Rodriguez.
Good evening.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, wait, so in all fairness, because we do have a lot of people to speak,
No,
we
I
have
know,
to
I
limit
know,
the
I
time
know.
to 3 minutes.
The reason I came here is because you have a big issue in my block. Because,
But before you start, give your name for the record and your address, please.
well, the
Okay.
address is 4908 Southwest 36th Court,
Okay.
Pembroke Park.
And what was your name once again?
My name is Ricardo Rodriguez. I'm in
Oh,
behalf.
yes, okay, Ricardo.
I'm in behalf of the the owner of the property,
Okay.
because we're working together. And the thing is, I have a violation. I have to try to fix all the violations. And the thing is, when I submitted my permit, I have to change the septic tank. The septic tank asked me for a letter for if I don't have sewer in my area. When I ask him for that, they give me the letter that I have a sewer. And there is when they started the problem.
Okay.
Because the sewer, we don't know. Mr. Clark helped me to find that exactly we have a sewer. But they don't have information what the sewer was, what my connection was. There, I'm going to the Broward Board Commissioner, Broward County Commissioner Board, to ask him for records. They don't have it. I go into building department. They tell me they don't have jurisdiction. I go into the water and water waste management department, the Broward County, and they, in the draw they have, we appear we don't have sewer, and in the GIS of the city showing we don't have it, but we have. Truly we have, but we've been a month in this back and forward until this Monday, the lady Miriam was capable to locate it and give me what we assume we have that. So that's something that you have to help, because I lose a month in all that. And the next 16, I expired my 90 days, so I don't know what I'm going to do. The 90-day breaks, they give it to me, expired the next 16. Yeah, I lost a whole month. There are witnesses that they have been working with them. You know what I mean? They don't have tools to work because they don't have draw, they don't have records, what they're showing to us. And we have sewer because my neighbor has sewer. And Clark opened the manhole and showed me, we do have sewer. But what it is, how I connect it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And now I have the other issue is I asking for permit to connect with Broward County, and Broward County don't gonna give it to me because I'm pretty sure they're not gonna give it to me because they don't have records that we've been connected.
As you know, I just became aware of this, this problem that you're having. And I will tell you, today I did have a meeting with Rob Clark
All right.
and the town manager, and all the three of us discussed this. And Rob, is Rob here? Oh, I couldn't see. I'm sorry, Rob. Rob said he is definitely looking in. He showed us that it doesn't show on the GIS,
Yeah.
and gave us the backstory on.
It was who showed me the
everything.
GIS. I'm sorry. The story.
That's okay. That's okay.
It was who showed me the GIS. This is how you go to the GIS.
Right.
It was who showed me.
Right. I've seen the manhole there personally myself. So
Oh, he
I
opened
went
it for
over
me.
and looked.
Yeah, I know.
So, Rob, do you want to tell them what our discussion was about today and our plan?
So the mayor brought it to my attention,
Right.
and Robert Clark, Public Works Director. The mayor brought it to my attention, and we contacted the historical registry in our relationship with Craig A. Smith Engineering
All right.
firm, and they are to get back to me on Monday
All right.
with a one way or the other, meaning that
All right.
we can say that yes, definitely you do, or no, definitely we don't. But that is the timeline from which our engineering firm has given us to give you a solid response. But that's about as far as we can go up to this point, because there has not been any solid records demonstrated that I've been able to uncover. And I know Miriam has been working to try and help uncover some records. So we're working towards it to get a final answer, because if to one extreme it says yes, another extreme it says no. So let's get something solid,
Yeah.
even if it has to be some ground penetrating radar to.
Let me ask you something.
Sir.
With my expiration date, it's going to be the 16th. I have to talk to coming back to see the lawyer, the judge.
Okay. Miguel, do you have anything that we could do about that by any chance? No. I just have to come back to the magistrate. So, go ahead.
Miguel Nunez, building official. Initially, I thought that we can take it to the magistrate and probably ask for additional time, but I was just informed that it is a repeat violation, therefore there's no additional time. What we could do is at the last, when he finished all the permits and the property is in compliance, we can probably help him addressing the issues with the special magistrate for a reduction of fines or abatement of fines.
Okay.
All right.
Sound
Thank you
all
for
right?
your time and have a
Just
good
wanted
day.
you to know that we were made aware of it just recently, but we did have a meeting today to discuss it, so
All right, I really
we'll make
appreciate
sure
it.
it's taken care of.
I really appreciate
Just for the record, I'd like to make an appointment to meet with you Monday.
it. All right,
All right, and I should have
At what
something
time?
solid for you first thing in the morning. 9
All right.
o'clock. Be great. if you
all right,
can.
I'll be.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Captain Coker?
Good evening.
Good evening, Captain Stephanie Coker, Broward Sheriff's Office. I'm at 5690 Pembroke Road. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good.
Good. Vice Mayor, Commissioner. I just want to tell you about an upcoming event we have. Due to COVID, we end up having to close our police athletic league down, and we haven't been able to do as much as we can with the kids. So on May 21st, we're going to be doing a grand reopening. It's going to be an event from 10 to 3 p.m. We partner with a couple of local business. We're going to do a mock boxing match at 1 p.m. and just the opportunity to get the kids to come out, try to get them signed up for the summer. Summer's a couple of weeks away for the kids. So this is just a great opportunity. We would love you guys to come out, support the event. There's going to be some light refreshments there. But this is just a time for us to try to get the kids occupied before the summer kicks in. So it's a great opportunity, and I just wanted to tell you guys about it. May 21st from 10 to 3 p.m., and the PAL address is 3450 Southwest 48th Ave.
You have a flyer made for this?
We do. I'll get it
Can
over to you guys.
email it to me?
Yes,
and I'll
sir.
make sure it gets posted.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next.
The next person is Martha Silva. Ms. Silva?
Ms. Silva?
Good evening. My name is Marta Silva. I live in 3300 Pembroke Road. We are having eviction notice from our property. We live in a mobile home park. I don't know if you are with this issue now, because I was telling that was a 0.9 that you are having a changing the development of the town, but we are with this problem since March. We have this letter. So we are fighting along with this case. We know that we are not the owner of the land, but we just want they treat us with dignity and compensate us for our property before we vacate the park. That's all we are asking. In this week, we have a meeting with them, and this was they gave to us.
Yeah, go ahead and bring that up, because I haven't seen this one.
Yes. This is what they are offering to us.
Here, I'm going to snap a photo of this, and then I'll give it back to you.
Yes. And do you want to have the letter also?
I believe I have a copy of that already.
Okay.
Is
So,
that the eviction notice?
yes. Okay. Okay, thank you. So,
You
Want to pass
just
that?
wanna
Yeah.
see that real quick?
so we don't know where to go, what we can do. How is we live and work nearby. We live here because we work nearby. We have people here that have been living there for 20 years. myself, I have 2 years that I moved from this park, and I was thinking that was for a long time. I work at the Memorial Regional Building near the hospital, and we think that we don't deserve to live in this like a limbo. They don't meet us. They send us a urban group to meet us with this proposal. When we ask questions, they don't have any answer. That's why we said, we need you to talk to us. But they haven't answered us. Now, how the city can help us? We even know.
All right, I'll explain this because I've been involved since the very beginning here. It is a private matter between the business owners and the residents of the park. The city cannot intervene between that, and we just cannot go in between the business and their tenants. That's not the city's position. But what I have done, and a handful of people know, everyone has my phone number because they call a lot. So I got with the county. I first started with my assistant, putting a list of resources available for you guys. I got with the county commissioner. He added more resources for you guys. So we have a list. And what's the, where's Joy? Is Joy down here? Oh, there you are. I'm sorry, I overlooked you. Joy, what's the place on Pembroke Road called? The city, the Broward Services? Yes, that place. So they have been made fully aware by the county commissioner and myself, and they have put a team together. The problem was your landlord or property owner would not let the team come onto the property. So they're operating out of there. If you go down there, they have all sorts of resources available for you guys, from legal aid, everything they could put together. I will tell you how far I've reached out. I've reached out to our senator. I drove him through the community so he could see all your homes. That is our state senator, our local senator. Our state representative, she's well aware, she's involved. Our state congresswoman, Federica Wilson, she has also been made aware and is monitoring it as well. I went to the governor's office, and I've gone to both of our state senators trying to get some assistance for you guys. I haven't heard from anything past that from any of the other representatives. You guys may have better chance than I do, but I've reached out to all of them trying to come up with some plan, some assistance, something to help you guys out. It breaks our heart to see that they're doing that to your community. So we have 17 mobile homes communities in here, and 2 of us live in those communities as well. So, you know, this is like a bad situation that we fear in this town, and it's happening in your park.
So how, because now I know that you are involved in this, but, and I think we have many people from our community. Which one of you know about, they are trying to help us? Who was? We know there's different groups trying to help. Yes, but we don't have been in touch direct to you. We want to know where to go, to what people, and you have our phone number.
Legal aid has lawyers and money.
Yes, but where we go? Where we go to find them?
I will tell you that the even Channel 10, the media, was reaching out to legal aid to get opinions and assistance to help you guys out. There's a great deal of people that have stepped up to the plate. People I didn't think, I don't hold the media in high standards, but I will tell you, they changed my opinion when it came to your park because they were going the extra mile trying to help. In fact, you guys had a meeting the other night, right? Last Thursday. I'm actually out of town for work, and one of the reporters sent me a couple clips of the meeting so I could see what was going on. And it hurts me, it hurts all of us to see what you guys are going through. But unfortunately, there is nothing more than providing services that the town can do for all of you. If there was more, I promise you we would be doing it. but that's as far as we can go.
So, but how can we be in touch with these resources that you said that we have, that you are offering?
We can maybe get her email or phone number.
We can email you. We have the list.
Send it to
We
you.
have the location where to go to, and they put up a action task force to help you guys out. So there are already people standing by waiting to help you guys with whatever you need. But you have to reach out to them because they can't come on the property to reach out to you guys.
Okay.
I don't have your email, so if you want to put on your email here so we could send you the resources, if you could kindly. The next person is Fernando Acuna.
Hello, Fernando.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome.
I have the glasses on because I have a sty right now.
Fine.
The brightness kind of messes with it, so hoping I can keep them on.
You could use the microphone, please. I'm sorry.
You just got to speak
Okay.
up so we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I also wanted to comment on. Oh, okay. My name is Fernando Acuna, and I also live in 3300 Pembroke Road. I wanted to comment on point number 9.1, and I wrote down some talking points that I wanted to cover. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about the lack of protections that have come for to the residents because of what Trinity's doing. So, about 2 nights ago, we had a transformer blow out at 5:30 in the morning, left multiple people without power, some people without water. To this day, right now, it still has not been resolved. They're acting like we already left. You know, we still live there, 24/7. I still live there. Everybody in this room still lives there, and I feel like they're not giving us the respect that we deserve because we still live and pay rent on that property. They're acting like they could just go ahead and go ahead with whatever redevelopment they plan to do. So that was one point that I wanted to bring to your attention. Another point was that we don't know if, we're assuming, right, that if TBN wants to change that into an industrial property, they'd have to go through some type of rezoning or something like that. And so we feel that Lakeside residents' voices and experiences should be included in that rezoning plan if that's what they decide to do. And my third point is that we propose that no rezoning, whether they need to rezone or not, should be approved by the city unless Trinity gives the residents the compensation that they deserve. And we feel that that's completely fair in us asking that.
All right. Let me address a couple of these.
Okay.
We have a planning and zoning board.
Mhm.
When they meet, you need to bring that to their attention.
Great.
I'm not sure when they meet.
I'm not sure when this item's coming up.
When-
I'm sorry, I don't know when this item is coming up at this
So-
point.
Okay. Oh, hold on one second. Miguel,
No, I know.
are you aware of what it's zoned as? Is it commercial property already?
It's a RV T1. It's a RV, right now it's a T1.
T1?
Yeah,
Okay.
they wanted to put us a B1.
T1.
Just to let you know, the applicant was asked to resubmit, and they have not yet. So until we get any sort of the resubmittal of the application, there won't be another meeting. We don't have it yet. We expect to get it any day, and once the town gets it, then the notices will be sent out. And I think that's what we're waiting on right now.
This is our town attorney.
Okay.
So, they're up on top of everything going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, when it comes to your power, do you pay your electric bill to the park or to FP&L?
FPL.
Have you guys called them and reported it?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't responded yet?
I don't know to what extent, but I know that there's a couple of people still without power. There's a couple of people still without water as well.
Without water?
Yes.
Do you happen to know the unit numbers?
I could get that information and I could definitely send it over.
Okay. Send me an email.
Mm-hmm. Over 55 people?
The people that still don't have water and electricity.
I know for a fact that one of our neighbors came over to our property today and they asked us if we had water, which we do. And we also have electricity, thankfully. But that was multiple people that have come over and asked us if we had water and electricity. So I just don't think that's fair. You know, it's like we still live there. We deserve to be able to live there in peace until we have to leave, depending on whenever our leases are up. You know, I feel like that's fair. And them doing whatever they need to do to redevelop that it's disrespectful while we're still living there, you know?
Have you reached out to TBN regarding the?
But they're not. They don't care. They've made it very clear that they do not want to deal with us at all, okay? When Jan, and not to get too into the history of things, but when the founders of this place died, it was like the care of the park completely died with them, okay? Their kids, it's like they bought a management company to handle their business in the park. And that, to me, it shows that they don't want to be directly involved with us anymore. Now that the park and the residents are going to split, they can't even have the decency to come and talk to us in person. Now they have to hire another company to do their dirty work. You know, now they have an urban group for that.
I got another question then. Is your water, are you on independent meters, or is your water included with your rent?
It's included with the rent. I'm sorry, I'm speaking, you know. I might not know
It's included in
a
your
lot of
rent,
these
so you all pay
questions.
okay,
Water and sewer is included.
got it. All right, that's what I want to know. If you can email me the unit numbers.
Mhm.
My email's on our website, on the town website.
Mhm.
Email me the unit numbers. I will personally make a call to FP&L, find out what's going on with the electric. I'm not sure on the water. If the water's on in the park, it should be on unless Trinity shut it off to certain areas. That would be the only thing I would assume, because in my park as well, we have the same system. Our water's included, water and sewer are included.
Right.
So.
Can I answer that? Last
Ma'am,
Oh,
we
wait, you gotta
can't-
wait just a minute.
So what about the last point that I brought up? I know you mentioned a meeting that's going to go down.
That is a planning zoning board.
Mhm.
They actually have a independent board that they decide and make decisions.
Right.
It's not, and then it comes,
They make recommendations
they
to
make
the
recommendations
commission.
to us, to the commission.
Right.
So, those would be the meetings that I would be attending.
Right. And could you also email me when those dates are?
I have no idea when that date's gonna be, but it will be published when
Mhm.
they know it's available. It will be on the website as well,
Okay.
so.
So, yeah, I had one more thing to say if I can remember it.
Okay, we gotta move on to the
I'm
next
sorry.
one.
Yeah.
All right, you can email me if you have another question.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
next person is Diana Colander.
Welcome, Diana.
Hi, good evening. My name is Diana Cullender. I live at 3300 Pembroke Road, Lakeside Park Estates. I am a resident there. So again, we have a couple of key points to discuss that Fernando mentioned. There is a lack of protection for the residents of Pembroke Park. For example, he just mentioned that there was a transformer at 5:30 in the morning that blew out, startled all the residents. And the result of that, some people lost their electricity. And at 7 a.m., we had 8 FPL trucks that came by. And I wanted to mention that even to this day, every day we have these out-of-town contractors coming, and they are rewiring these industrial wires, or cables, I should say, in the park, and that's what caused the transformer to blow out. To this day, they're going very close to our homes and redoing these cable wires to the tower, which Trinity owns, and it is pretty much a hazard, in my opinion, because if it touches any of the trees or our houses, they will probably cause an electrical power outage as well as a fire. And they have no regard for the residents that we are still living there. So And I also want to make another point that we are opposed to the rezoning that Trinity is trying to, that you're approving Trinity to go ahead with what they're doing with the construction and the rezoning of our mobile home park. We don't want to have them be approved until that we get the compensation of the value of our houses that we have paid for, which they have completely ignored. They don't communicate with us. Like Fernando says, they're sending a third company coming over to talk to us about residents. They have not even addressed the value of our houses or anything. They're completely ignoring us. We have no communication. We have no emails, no phone numbers to them. And this has been going on since March 18th. And another thing I wanted to mention is that the notice that they gave us at the meeting, that they want us to clear out of the park by August 15th. I want to mention that we have leases that are
30
all the way
seconds.
up till November. And that I consider a breach of our leases. Contradicting, correct. So I don't understand how they can be allowed to do that, that if we have written contracts, that they just can go ahead and say, you need to exit the park August 15th, and then offering us this ridiculous amount that you saw, the copy that you received.
This just probably puts more weight on the fact that you probably should get together as a conglomerate and get an attorney and pursue that avenue of
Sir,
breach of
to get an
contract or
attorney,
whatever,
you need
know.
$10,000. So
Well,
there's
how many-
nothing that we
I'm
can
not sure how
afford
much
that.
all of you would lose as a group, but I'm sure it would exceed $10,000.
No, an
but-
attorney's fees will cost up to $10,000
Oh, I'm
to
sure,
be
yeah,
represented.
but,
Time.
So, living in where we are,
I do have a question. What day did the transformer blow?
it was 5:30 in the morning, but it was a very loud, like a loud
No,
explosion.
Day. What
Day, that
did
was
it
yesterday morning at 5:30 a.m. And there was like a burst of light also, because it startled me as well.
happen? The very bright white light.
Correct.
I've seen them blow myself.
And I think it's a result of them doing this cable wiring redoing, so.
Legal aid helps low-income people with legal services, and that is one of the available services that we were able to get involved with all of this. So they're part of that up at the Family Services Center. So that's the only legal advice that we can give you is, you know.
But
in terms
how are
of
you going to
legal aid.
address this, what they're doing with the cables and this transforming, blowing up and stuff, and this is causing a risk to our lives as well as our homes? I mean,
Like I
that's.
said, I'm gonna reach out and call FPL myself and see what's going on with that. I don't know. I know less than you know, so,
Okay.
Time.
all right.
Norma Rodriguez.
Hello, Norma.
Hello, my
Welcome.
name is Norma Rodriguez. I live at 3300 Pembroke Road, Lot 704. I'm new to this community. As a matter of fact, I came here on March 10th of this year for the purpose of having some surgery. I was told by my doctor I needed to be nice, quiet, and cool, 70 degrees. When I got here on March 10th, I wrote a check for the payment for a whole year. March 16th, Renee was knocking on my door. You need to stop payment on your check. And I told her, no, why? She says the park was going to close and that I needed to be out by April 15th. I was supposed to have my surgery on April the 4th because the fact that I was going to have to move by April 15th, my surgeon told me they would have to cancel the surgery or postpone it because, again, I need to be at least in 70 degrees. When I came back from my vacation spring break, she had told me that I could stay a little bit longer, but then by then the appointment had already flown. Monday, May the 2nd, I went back to Renee to let her know that I am trying to reschedule the surgery because now she told me that I could stay to at least November. And I asked her if I could move my trailer, because when I said April the 2nd or the 4th, my trailer sits where the morning the sun gets from the driver's side to the bathroom, and in the afternoon from the driver's side to my bedroom. So I get the sun all day. So I asked her if I could move to another area, maybe where it gets more shade. She told me I would have to pay more. When we met with the urban group on the 5th, they gave me their business cards, and I talked to Matt on Monday, the 9th, and I had asked Matt if he works directly with TBN or does he work with the people there. And he told me that he works with TBN. I told him, I said, can you please talk to them about being able to move, because there's a whole mess of places, because there's all the other people that have left where I could get a nice little shady tree so I could have my surgery. And he said he was going to talk to them, but that they would find out. I don't care. So I called on Tuesday the 10th. I called Howard Steinhold to talk to Matt, actually, but Howard answered the phone, and he told me
30 seconds.
that they were going to try to do something. So I found out today from Renee that no. I have the paper here where I'm being scheduled for the surgery on the 19th at 8:30 in the morning. Now I want to let you all know, I'm trying to do everything I can to keep my air conditioning down to 70 degrees. But if something should happen, they were not willing to let me move to a cooler area. Would you like a copy of these?
Do you have an extra copy? for
Time.
us?
No, I don't. But you could take a picture.
Yeah, I'll do that. And just so the commission's aware, Renee is the property administrator or manager. I'm not sure what her title is.
Office manager, at least that's what she's told me.
Okay.
Did you get the money back?
Well, I'm going to get the money back, because if not, I will hire an attorney. And I have the funds. I do have the $10,000 to hire an attorney. And that would be criminal.
Right, of course.
And I did tell her today I would be out by maybe the 27th of June.
Mary McNamara.
Good evening, Mary.
Good evening, Mayor. My name's Mary McNamara. My address is 3300 Pembroke Road. I also created something called Independent Native Nation, which is not at that address.
You got to speak up just a little bit.
So what I'm addressing here is statute of Florida 825.103. It's elderly abuse. The crime of exploitation of an elderly person or disabled adult is committed when a person knowingly exploits an elderly person or disabled adult out of their funds, assets, or property. So I think you guys know what they did to the Canadians. They offered them $200 with no receipt. They would get a $10,000 fine if they didn't remove their trailer before they left. They had between 15 and 30 days to do that. And we told them that's against the law. You have 6 months. But because they were not American citizens, they did not feel that they had a right to our constitutional law. We also have a lake. I think you guys know about the lake. I think you know that 2019, they asked for a permit to drain the lake. The lake is 75 feet deep. I'm not sure the circumference of it, but it is also has a flood lock for the city. It's also a bird estuary, I believe, sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
And under certain laws that are federal, waterways now have living rights. And that's kind of forming right now. But 89% of the voters, I think, voted, approved by 89% of the voters, granted waterways in the county, I think that was Orange County, the right to exist, flow, to be protected against pollution, and maintain a healthy ecosystem. I think some of you know that the wood storks, which are the most endangered, I think, bird in Florida, used to come there by the numbers of tens. But we had some managers that the management company brought in that did some very disgusting things to our wildlife. I think
30 seconds.
I think you may be informed on that. I had a printout of all this stuff. I went to Kinko's to pick it up, and unfortunately, I didn't send it to them in a PDF form. I just emailed it. I'll have all this stuff printed out for you and some of the new laws about waterways. And we thank you very much for helping us protect the lake. I think I've called you guys. I got some wrong information, but I did get some right information. And according to a gentleman there, Kevin, they are going to do what they want to the lake. And they're acting like they don't care about you or your permit.
Okay, so, was unaware of the draining of the lake. Do us a favor, save a few trees, just scan an email and email a copy to the town clerk, and she could send it to all the commissioners so we can have a copy of it instead of wasting all that money on ink and paper. All right?
I have it on my AOL.
If you can email it to the town clerk, she can give it to a copy to all of us.
Mr. Nunez?
My email is
Could you- Could you step up for a minute? Mr. Nunez, you're the watershed management for this area, aren't you, for the town?
I am the floodplain manager.
The
yes, sir.
floodplain manager? Have you been contacted by the organization that's involved here to what's going on with the lake or anything?
None whatsoever.
Well,
Nothing?
So the, I do know that the Trinity submission includes a permit application to Broward County to fill a portion of that lake. Yes, it does.
And it was approved?
I don't know that it's been approved. It's
Oh.
been sent to the county. It's not our jurisdiction. We don't have authority. The county issues lake fill permits, so it would be a State Department of Environmental Protection and a Broward County matter.
So the town has no say in it?
The town doesn't have a say, but it's a multi-jurisdictional review that goes along with their application to rezone, et cetera. And so it comes to the P&Z, which it already has. The Planning and Zoning Board made recommendations, but the actual lake and the filling of the lake is not something we have jurisdiction over. That permit is issued by Broward County.
Now, we do have to review it, and I think Miguel will agree. We have to review it to ensure that our drainage systems are not
Right.
impacted by that.
Well, not just the drainage system. If that berm isn't high enough, you'll flood the whole area.
Yeah, but that's part of the
Right,
drainage.
but it's a multi-jurisdictional review, including the town, but the town is not the body that issues the permit.
I see. I think possibly you
I-
might
I-
have to
I will
contact
not
them and try to get some more information out of what they're doing over there anyway.
Yes, no, they have not contacted me as a floodplain administrator. I will not engage in the legalities or illegalities of whatever they plan or they whatever to do. I'm not gonna say that. However, the town of Pembroke Park has a no adverse impact, and in regards to FEMA and the NFIP, they need to provide a floodplain permit for to the building, not to the building official, to the floodplain administrator of the town as part of the NFIP program. And in addition to that, it has to have a no-rise impact, especially in that special flood hazard zone that they have. That will be,
Ladies and gentlemen, we need it quiet, please, in the audience.
I will not engage in who has the right or not, but at the end of the day, it is my opinion that the town has to approve the filling of the lake and at the same the adverse impact that is going to happen in our pumps, in our storm drainage systems, and in the rise of the water in the case, because that will affect completely our program that we have, especially so hard that we're trying to work with the CRS program at the state level.
Yeah, the engineering report I read said the berm was only going to be 4 feet tall.
But yes, I saw what graciously our consultant planner sent me, but I don't think it's no information in there how much the water is going to rise, how much is going to affect our drainage system, the stormwater drainage, or anything. So I will have to look into that.
All right, thank you.
And Miss Mary, regarding the elderly abuse, right behind you are two BSO. They're the ones you want to speak to about that.
The next person, I apologize, I really can't read the handwriting, but they are from Leading Systems Press.
Hi, my name's Greg Jacobs.
No relation?
No
Or
relation.
you know each other?
3300 Pembroke Road, Lot 847. So as you introduced my business, I would point out I'm a resident of the city and also a local business owner. I want to advise the council tonight that the, really? Sorry, guys. Is this any better?
Better.
All right. Trinity Broadcasting Networks of Florida is closing their property to residents. In so doing, they have employed unlawful evictions and outright discrimination against residents. It has come to my attention that Trinity is also attempting to change the address of the park in an effort to distance themselves from accountability for future actions by them against tenants. So they know they're closing, they know they're going to do it dirty, and now they're looking at ways to, you know, maybe somebody can't come after them. I don't need to point that out. My concern is that the city does not want to be seen as aiding nefarious actions against tenants. Now, I know you're aware of many of the problems that have gone on here, so I'm not going to belabor the points, but I do want to point out, in my experience living there, I was terrorized by psychotic criminals that were employed by Park Lane Realty, and then by extension, Trinity Broadcasting Networks. The actions visited upon me and a handful of neighbors was far more severe than what's going on now. But again, my concern is accountability. Look what's happened to me. Who's had to answer for it? No one. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Greg.
That was our last speaker.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seeing how there's no more public comment, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Actually, we missed Gloria.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gloria. Gloria's still here?
Not sure.
No, her stuff's still up front.
That's
here.
mine, that's mine.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can get started and we can go back to her if she shows up.
Okay.
If there is a moment, maybe I could speak. I'm Lori Laney, also.
Did you sign in?
I did not.
Yeah, I got it. Sign in. Hey,
Thank
JC, can you call Gloria, see if she's still here? Go ahead.
Does anybody on staff have Gloria's number? Yeah.
1 second.
Is somebody calling her? Because I have her number also. Okay. I won't call her.
I feel good there. Thank you. Well, I've been a resident there.
Hold on
I'm
one
sorry.
second.
Lori, what is your name?
My name is Lori Laney.
Welcome,
Laney,
Lori.
Laney.
Address?
Please. Anyways, I'm also a resident there, 3300 Pembroke Road.
Perfect.
for 22 years, actually a resident of Aqua Golf. Prior to that, briefly, I was there prior to them. I had a RV at the time a new one, and I was there during their taking over of the east side of the lake and their payout that they offered. I think it was I'd have to look back at the actual year, I really will, to date it, 2007 or maybe earlier. And what they're offering the tenants right now is basically what they offered them back then, and that was a whole different scenario. Is it really legal that they acquire homes that were sold on the property with background checks by paying $200 or $2,005? The Canadians held that park up at gold standard. Is it really legal? I understand the RV laws. It's not just an RV park, it's a marble home park. Is it really legal? And now they're saying that a home valued at $100,000 that was able to purchase for less during the pandemic is going to be theirs to do whatever they want to because they're giving an incentive to move out by August in an economy where it's impossible. Yes, we want to talk directly to TBN. Definitely we do. I've seen the whole time, forever and ever, there's actually liabilities in many areas. I've been very thankful to live there all these years. It is a very beautiful place to be upheld by the community. I truly think TBN should champion the need for urban development in the area. And we could even offer them beautiful comprehensive plans in which to do that with the property. Are they doing the wise thing for the area? Are they doing the wise thing for the state of Florida? Is there a way that the people who currently live there can help them, work with them? It's not like we're trying to go against them. We would like to support them like we always have. People have been renting there for 30 years, hundreds of $1,000s toward them in good stewardship. We care about the place. We care about Pembroke Park. We care that the right thing is done here for the state of the Florida. If this line is crossed with an organization as big as Lake Trinity Estates, as big as an environmental issue in the area, and as big as whoever wants to be involved with them in this redevelopment, why isn't there enough money to cover a home that was just purchased? You know, can they not hold a telethon? So we're looking forward, yes, in our spare time of working, we're all working people.
30
and in
seconds.
going through the throes of this, going through the throes of watching the Canadians do what they did in great valor, but unbelievable, unbelievable. No, I'm asking them to please send a letter to Trinity and to myself. I do have papers from them saying what their value had been, but why? Why? So that there is a reason to move forward this. It's a shame they let it go for $200. They were very afraid. It is a real big problem there because where to go?
Time.
We'd rather work and help so this doesn't keep happening when there's this much involved money-wise that we can't hold sovereignty in the state of Florida and the United States of America.
Okay.
Thank you.
Briefly, many of those questions that you asked are questions that you will have to address with your legal counsel. There's nothing we can do about that, as I explained from the very beginning. I personally drove our state senator through your community. He also believes in what we have here in this town in affordable housing. And I can only reach out to everybody and keep asking for help just like you guys are. And that's what I continue to do for this community. Sure. Go ahead and come on up.
Steve Harris.
Yes, my name is Steve Harris. I too
Steve?
reside at Steve.
Welcome, Steve.
I too reside at 3300 Pembroke Road. My wife and I have been residents there for 6 years. We had searched all over and were finally able to find a place near Memorial Hospital South where my wife is employed. And we have now a 5 or 10 minute commute on a good day. Our contract was signed every year. We moved in February. Our contracts were March to March to March. And during the 2 years of COVID, the office was closed. We didn't sign new contracts. We just kept paying our rent, paying our rent, paying our rent. And then there was change in the administration people, and the current office manager issued new contracts, stating that our rent would go up, I think it was like $90 per site, according to where it is in a park. And that those who signed contracts in November, their rent would go up in November. Those in March would go up in March. They sent me an email that my rent was going up in November. I contacted her back and said, my contract is through March. She told me then in March you'll begin to pay the higher rent amount. I went in on March 16th to sign my new lease, to pay my new rent, and coming out of the building was a very irate next door neighbor of mine informing me that the park had been sold. We ought have to be out of here by April 15th. I walked into that melee. I was told that she couldn't talk to me that day, but if I came in the next morning, I could pay my rent and she would talk to me. She verbally gave me 30 days extension for as long as I'm here. You know, that she could do that case to case. We don't have any place to go. I have tried to look for other RV parks within commute distance to Memorial South that I would want my wife to live in. It's very difficult to find them. I have been working with the park and the public parks. You can only do those for 6 months at a time. Right now it's only 3 months at a time, and you're moving spaces around during those times. It's very difficult. You have to put down enormous deposits to move anywhere. And that was our personal problem. Today I went in because we have a safety issue with
20 seconds.
all the extra people leaving and all the debris that's piling up there, and the high winds is just blowing stuff around. Our unit and my car was hit by a metal piece a week and a half ago. But today I talked with a project manager, met him the first time, and he told me, I asked him questions, he told me that their intent, that hadn't been approved yet, but their intent was to fill in the lake on the resident side of the issue up to about to where the pools are, so that the Aqualand golf thing was still intact. But their plan was to fill in that area. And I think that that is a travesty, because the water levels and the tables around here, whenever there's a hard rain, the streets do not hold that. And along with all the wildlife and everything's up here, I've been asked to ask you,
I
may I have 30 seconds, just 30 seconds, please.
Okay, that's it.
If the city can't directly intervene between the TBN and its tenants, maybe it could possibly indirectly influence them by acting correctly, denying their possible future rezoning request. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, as I addressed your concerns earlier, again, guys, you need to bring this to the Planning Zoning Board. That's not us. Bring your concerns up there. I have not seen the plans. I've heard exactly what you have heard, that they want to fill in the finger of the lake. The commission's been aware of it. They know how hard I've been working trying to help you guys in the process with services, and that is the extent I can go to help you. The town manager as well, he's been involved, and my assistant sitting in the front row right there, Joy Brown, she's also been heavily involved with this as well. I urge you to reach out to legal aid and the services that they have put available for you guys. Again, they can't come on the property to provide it for you. You actually have to go seek them out. Okay? And anyone have any questions where that location is? If you email, we'll send you the list that we have available. Just again, email me. My email's on the town website, and we have a list of resources there. So I'll make sure that you get a hold of those.
We can't have, ma'am,
I can't do it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do any more, guys. We've gone through everyone and given everyone equal time. Again, this is an issue that concerns us as well, because we also live in the same parks. I've checked with other parks as well. They've also told me that they have wait lists for you guys, and it's difficult to move anywhere. Mr. Jacobs back there, him and I had at least an hour-long discussion over that as well, trying to find a location. So It's not been easy, and I wish I could provide more, but I'm doing what I can for you guys. But I really appreciate your time here today.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to, should we do 5.3 for the pension?
No, because
Can't find her.
Can't
I
find
needed her to give us the exact vote,
Okay,
so I'd rather for her to be here.
okay,
So consent agenda.
all right. Thank you, everyone. Number 7, consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Right, number 8, resolutions. 8.1, have the town attorney read the resolution. Resolution number 2022-005.
The 3-cent local option gas tax, and then there's a second one on the next page, which is a
Thank you.
different amount. Resolution number 2022-005, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, authorizing the town to make and enter into the 2022 amendment, to the interlocal agreement with Broward County, Florida, providing for division and distribution of the proceeds from the Broward County additional local option gas tax on motor fuel ordinance, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver said 2022 amendment for and on behalf of the town of Pembroke Park, providing for severability, superseding conflicting resolutions, and providing an effective date.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
And to adopt.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Right, 8.2, 5th cent local tax. Have the attorney read the resolution. Resolution number 2022-006.
Resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, authorizing the town to make and enter into the 2022 amendment to the interlocal agreement with Broward County, Florida, providing for division and distribution of the proceeds from the Broward County additional local option gas tax on motor fuel ordinance, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver said 2022 amendment for and on behalf of the town of Pembroke Park, providing for severability, superseding conflicting resolutions, and providing an effective date.
And to adopt.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Right. Ordinances second reading, or, ordinances second public hearing. 9.1, I will have the attorney read the ordinance, and then I'll open up for public comment. This will be ordinance number 2022-003.
Ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending the town's comprehensive plan by adopting a property rights element, providing for severability, superseding conflicting ordinances and resolutions, and providing an effective date.
Okay, I'll open this up for public comment.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Mike Vondermeulen with Keith. This is the second reading of the ordinance. We went through it at the previous public hearing. There have been no changes.
Okay. Is there any other public comment on ordinance number 2022-003? All right, we'll close public comment. I'll entertain a motion.
And to adopt.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right, new business, 10. We'll start with 10.05, BSO. Come up for a few minutes here.
Sir, to the Charles Bar Sheriff's Office.
I have a few questions for you. Again, this is no reflection on the deputies. These are questions regarding our park, or our community. Every month I ask the same questions. Do you know what our average response time currently is?
So that's something I'd have to get from our communications department. If you allow me some time, I will make that request and put in that question.
Okay, I continue to ask month after month what our average response time is.
Okay.
I can let you know what it is. The national standard right now is 6 minutes. Here in Pembroke Park, the BSO's response time is 16 minutes. That's 10 minutes more than the national standard. What do you think about that?
Okay, there's a lot of variables that go into that. And again, that's something that I'd have to look into. I don't know exactly where you're getting your numbers, sir. I'd have to look at the stats myself to be able to justify it.
All right, next month's workshop, please bring those forward.
Very well, sir.
Also, there's a numerous amount of 911 calls going unanswered. It seems to be a common occurrence with BSO is with the communication system is what's being done to address that concern.
Again, that is something that's being handled by our communications team and our managers down at headquarters. There is a problem with the system, with the phone system, as far as I understand, where the phone system just dumps a whole bunch of calls at the same time. I do not have the technical knowledge to explain exactly what's going on with that, but it is it's not just specific to the town.
There was an editorial today, did you see that?
No.
On this issue. I'll send everybody the article, but it was an interesting
Correct.
article.
Several
Exactly
cities,
on this issue.
correct. Several cities are affected by that, and I do not have the technical knowledge again to be able to address that.
Okay, I was unaware something came out about it this morning.
Just, no,
Just
later
like
this afternoon.
Yeah,
This afternoon?
I'll actually go ahead and email it to you all now.
Okay, I was unaware of that.
Yes,
So,
sir.
but that's a concern that's been brought forward to me.
Yeah, I assume it's a concern for everybody. That's not something that should be happening, but it is something that's being worked on and looked at for a solution.
And the communication system itself is outdated. Are they updating that? What's BSO doing about their communications network?
Again, sir, that is something that is outside my purview. I would have to direct that question to the communications department and get an answer for you or have them contact you.
Okay, can you have them do that as well, or bring that at the next workshop? And those are all the questions I have. Do you have any?
10.5?
10.05. It was an addition that I added into it. I had some.
10 and a half.
10 and a half is what it is. 10.05.
All right, so that's 10.5.
I just wanted to get it at the beginning, so.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Yes, sir.
But just so you know, sir, I did read a study that said that your response time was between 8 and 16 minutes.
As far as for the...
For a call, when you get a call that's for the town.
Okay.
So you know what they're referring to. We had are you referring to the
Yes.
study that was done?
Yes.
There's a study that was done for us, which we can, I guess, provide to them so he can look at it to help answer the question. We'll get that to you so you can.
Yeah, I am familiar with the study that was done, but I did not see any data on the results.
Okay,
So
well, if
that's
you
why
have it,
we're incapable
We'll
of
make sure you get a
providing
copy
the-
of it.
Make sure
Very
you
well.
get a copy.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely, sir.
New business 10.01, waiver request, Department Coffee LLC, BTR Administrator Grooms.
Just on the article I just sent you guys, if you don't have a password, we do have an account, and Marlene can give you the password so you can read that article.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I did reach out, Michelle Grooms, Billing Administrator. I did reach out to the customer by email and tried to contact him by phone to let him know and emphasize you should attend the meeting. This was a waiver that was submitted by the Department Coffee LLC. This is his letter that he submitted to request for the waiver of the penalty fee that was imposed on March 1st. He did, in fact, that remaining penalty is $250. He did, in fact, pay his business tax fees along with the penalties through January of $416.49. They have the actual business tax was issued originally February 2021. So he's a brand new business.
Is there a representative here from the Department Coffee LLC? Okay, I do not see a representative here. You read this with just 1 second. Okay. You guys understand my opinion. It stands the same as previously. Only way to hold people accountable as adults and businesses is financially, and I don't see any reason to waive the fine. But what do you guys think?
How new is the business?
To a point where it's becoming a habit now.
The business was just issued their business tax in the town February 24th, 2021.
Oh,
so he's a
more than
brand
year.
new business.
He's a year old, yeah.
Yeah. And usually what happens is the renewals for go out July 1st. They have until September 30th to renew for the upcoming year. So he came in February. The renewal for the upcoming year went out in July, and he did not renew by the deadline, September 30th, 2021.
Okay. Do you have any more questions? And I'm sorry, no one heard what you said, Ray.
I said we've been waiving fees pretty much all year. I think we have to be a cap, a limit.
Yeah, if they're going to have a business in town, they're going to have to do the right thing, pay attention.
All right, then I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion not to waive the fee.
A second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. 10.2, purchase of new vehicles for the building department, building official Nunez.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Hoskin, Miguel Nunez, building official. This is in regards to the purchasing of the vehicles for the building department. As I mentioned before, the proposed vehicle is a 2022 Ford Escape. Could be any other type of vehicle within the price range. We've been using the Florida Department of Management Services contract as outlining your backup material. However, you have also in your backup material additional information that the difficulties to obtain certain vehicles, we are between 90, 120 days, sometimes even 180 days for the vehicles to reach out to us. And that's the reason why at the same time, even though we have the three vendors that provided prices to them, even one of them could not even provide a price for the contract, but he was gracious enough to offer a regular price, which was in the effect close to $14,000 extra. However,
$2,000
course.
extra?
yeah. Yeah, a regular price. Not the fleet state contract or anything like that. So he was gracious enough, and I understand it's his business. I'm not going to question their motive or anything like that. However, in order to maintain our requirement to purchase the vehicle under the contract, the established contract, if for whatever reason we cannot get the vehicle within the allotted time, if you look at the numbers, the lowest number is $21,944, almost $22,000, and the other one is $24,000. I'm requesting the commission to give either myself or the town manager or whoever you deem appropriate the latitude to seek for a vehicle for up to $24,000 or $25,000, not to exceed that amount, which is consistent with the contract. Just because it's so difficult right now to find a vehicle, especially for the supply issues, and as you know, is very, very complicated at this point in time.
You want to make a motion
Yeah,
to
well,
not to exceed 24?
Not to exceed 24,000 per vehicle. I know we had discussed on the previous two, because we're looking for one, but we did have some discussions for two vehicles. I'll leave to the discretion of the commission and the town manager on that discussion. And even the type of vehicle, but not to exceed that amount of dollars, which is very consistent with the contract, so.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion, the purchase of two vehicles not to exceed $24,000?
Each one. It has to
Per
be each
vehicle.
one. Because then we were never going to find a vehicle.
Okay.
I'll make a motion not to, and make sure that it's not to exceed the 24,000 each.
I second.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
10-3, replacement pump for Master Lift Station 34, Public Services Director Clark.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Clerk Commissioner, Robert Clark, Public Services Department Director. In this particular instance, you saw the big price tag. If you had a chance, Marlene, would you mind clicking that so we could see the costs associated with it? When I first took this position, I was told to get our infrastructure in place, and this is an example of what my initial request was for $25,000 to have that relationship or the monies available for us. It's for instances such as this, and now I'm exceeding the $25,000 threshold because we have to single source this particular product. And this particular motor here is a necessity because it's part of the master lift station number 34, which is a triplex system.
Where is that location again?
That's located on Park Road.
On Park, that's the one just.
The master lift station.
The master, okay.
And the one you have the three
Yep.
connections to. So, it is unfair that the town has had to suffer with this because of the price tag and all the things associated with it. This thing has been broken for quite some time. And so therefore, what we're doing, we've been operating on two motors with a three-motor system, which means that they designed it specifically to have three motors in order to carry the wastewater. And so it has been my intention to try and get everything back to OEM, original equipment manufacturer. And in this case, it's a $27,000 price tag. And just to point, our procurement policy does not allow myself nor my leadership the latitude to go out and do what's necessary in short order to solve problems such as this. And we're talking about, these are major infrastructure issues, $8,000, $7,000, $10,000, $27,000 a pop in order to get things in place. And that's just for repair, not to mention modernization associated with it. So I'm not going to beat the dead horse. I'd like to have the money, and I'd like to have some latitude to be able to continue to do the work necessary and be effective. To do the work necessary to be effective here for the town as your public services director.
Okay, so what you're asking is single source, you said?
This is a single source. There's no way around it. We tried to, my deputy and I have been working. We've tried to trick the system, but they're not having it. We have to order from these people these pumps, and we found out the hard way that there's no cheap way of doing this because of the way that they have control of this particular product.
So are you looking not to exceed 28,000?
So I'm looking to purchase, the authority to purchase this thing for $27,309.75 plus a 30% accelerator because of what we just talked about here, to where somebody might come back and say, well, we got one, so you're going to have to pay 40 grand for the thing.
And they're justifying this as a single source, which is an exception under the procurement code.
So how about a not to exceed 35,000? That puts us right about 30%.
And let's keep our fingers crossed, because the deputy just told me this proposal is 90 days old. So, and this is the process, gentlemen, and this won't be the last time I do this to you, okay? We have to go through it, and we own quite a few of these. It's just the way that it is. I wish I could tell you something.
I think Rob has expressed to me, and I understand that frustration, the low threshold, the low purchasing threshold, which we just increased last year. And we all know that why we have that, because of the history of the town.
Right.
So maybe as the town evolves, that can change. Maybe it can change specifically in relation to public works needs. I don't know, but I know he and I have discussed this.
Yeah, we just upped it to where it is because of the history of the town, where it was, I would say, a challenge to even get it to that point. So, so I'll entertain a motion not to exceed 35,000 for the purchase of the pump.
Do you want to do it, I'm sorry, but do you want to do it between 35 and 40? That way they don't have to come back just in case?
That's 30% above the price already.
So, if I may, sir?
Yeah.
This is the issue where Director Nunez had just brought. They're price gouging us, and to lack of better words, that's what they're doing. They realize the steadiest of the market and the single source, and if they know if they have this thing, right, my lift station won't work without it. You follow me? And
They
it
also
costs me
know
more
if they
to-
watch his commission meeting tonight, they know I approved it up to 40,000, so that pump just became
Absolutely.
$39,999.
Let's hope that's not the case. But in this particular instance, we're anticipating a minimum of 30%. But let's keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully they understand what we're trying
How about
to do.
this, town manager? What do you recommend on that?
I support Public Works Director Clark's 39.99. Yeah.
39,999.
39.999.
39,999.
But just to make it clear, we're talking 40,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want it to be unclear on the
A
record.
bit of sarcasm under that.
The clerk would not like that.
And so, and I just want to be clear, so we go back to if we go back to the company and say, yes, we want to buy the thing, and they come back with another number at $40,050,
We can hold
we have to
an-
go through the whole process again?
We will hold an emergency meeting.
Okay, thank you. That's pretty much what I was looking for.
We will hold an emergency one-item meeting to get that done.
Thank you very much.
Hold on. Entertain a motion for 40,000, not to exceed.
I'll make a motion to approve the pump purchase for not to exceed 40,000.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille.
Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right. MPO, we're going to do 10.4 real quick here. Then I think we take a few minute break. 10.4 MPO surtax project approval, Carolina Street capacity increase, Public Services Director Clark, resolution number 2022-007. Attorney Anderson, can you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, supporting town projects for submittal to the Broward County Metropolitan Planning Organization for evaluation and ranking for transportation surtax funding for fiscal year 2023, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
I will entertain a motion. Or do you have any questions?
10.4.
This is 10.4.
Motion to approve MPO surtax project.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Right, I'm going to recommend a 20-minute recess. Let's make it a 15-minute recess. I'll take a break here for a second.
Is there a motion?
Is there a motion?
Motion to take a 15 minutes recess.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Vice Mayor, seconded by Clerk Commissioner. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
and Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes. 15 minutes?
15.
Is that the right one?
So let's do that one first.
Okay, motion to approve the update that Gloria gave to us.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0 for the update. The second motion is to go ahead and allow the changes from the funds that was also provided to you.
Motion to allow the changes to the funds that was provided to us.
Yes, now second.
Roll
Okay.
call.
Motion by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. We're done with that one.
Item number 10.5, renewal of energy services agreement with Calvin Giagano and Associates, Public Service Director Clark.
Good evening, Vice Mayor DeVille, Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, and Mayor Jacobs. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come before you here. Basically, it's just a renewal to the already existing engineering services contract that we have in play. It's a civil engineering agreement, and we wanted to make it effective today.
Their last
Renewal.
renewal on their old contract.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to renew the engineering services agreement with Calvin Giordano and Associates.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Jacobs. .6. Engineering study sewer master plan, Public Services Director Clark.
Okay, so we are back to where we need to be. We have more than 20-year-old master plan. In this particular one, we're asking for direction when it comes to the master plan. In the sewer master plan, it's outdated. It interferes with our ability to get grant funding. And to be perfectly honest with you, we need to know where things are and how they work and how it may affect the town for a variety of reasons. We need to know what we have in play, and I've been entrusted with this opportunity, so I'm doing everything I can to move this forward. But it brings us to something that the town attorney has brought, that there is a procurement process in place that requires us to go back out through an RFP process, and because this actual master plan is going to be upwards of the GMP was $200K, okay, for this particular one, but that was a drive-by conversation. But this isn't something that's we can get done for less than $25K for a sewer master plan for this town. And so because of the $25K threshold, I don't have the ability to say, hey, go get me the thing and bring it back in 6 months. And that's where we are once again. These high dollar items that are essential to the town's viability has come before you once again, sir, and it won't stop. At $25,000 now, I have to go back out. So I'd like to seek some direction on this particular issue. Are we sticking with the standard plan, or do we have the capacity through the town attorney and the manager to approve sensitive items such as this so it doesn't interfere in the future? Because I'm going to need stormwater plan, and I'm going to need a variety of other things as we continue to do.
Okay, so you're seeking commission's direction to solicit consulting firms, or through the process,
Well, that's the whole point, is that we don't have to do that anymore because we have an RFP that's already went out, and we have 11 engineering firms that are already in play, and we soon to have a contract or agreements with them here in short order. But what I'm talking about is that even after we have the agreement, we still have to go through the RFP process, the procurement process to request, which means I have to come back to the commission and request permission to have a engineering firm perform this task to us, and we have to go through that entire process.
being the amount of money that it is, I believe it needs to continue to go through the commission.
Go through the commission?
Yeah, you approve the expense. Yeah, you approve the expenditure.
Yeah. But the line item is not going to scratch. That's not going to be enough. The line item that we have.
No, I know. It's going to be more than 25,000.
We know that.
Yeah, and that's what I was asking, pretty much, the guidance on that. So
If I may, I make a suggestion. Commissioners, please, you can give us direction and say, okay, go and seek, solicit proposals or engineering firms. But let me also double check the statute regarding the CCNA, the Consultants Competitive Negotiation Act, to see what the threshold is there that we have to go and approve.
if I'm not mistaken, it's
It's how
500.
much?
It's $500,000.
500,000?
Right.
Okay, so that means that we're well within our.
We're well within the parameters to
So-
where that.
So what we can do is, if the commission approves item number 10.8, and we sign continuing services agreements with them.
Right.
Then all we would have to do is select one, get a proposal, and then just come to them and get it
Submit it to
approved.
the commission.
So we don't have to go and do the
Through
RFP.
the entire procurement process. So
That's it.
I didn't have the effectiveness to explain it that way, but that's exactly what I was asking for, is not to have to go through this thing again. Because it's a kind of convoluted process, and I understand the reason for it, but I just want to make sure that he said it right, yeah. We just want to be able to pick one and move forward. And then we got a short window too, just if I want to, the time is of the essence is what I'm trying to say.
So actually, there's no action to be taken on this particular
It's
item.
just information.
It's just information, and then with 10.8, the approval of that, we can come back with a proposal.
Okay. Let's move on to 10.7, monument signs locations in the preserve and Ryan Parks. Public
Okay.
Service Director Clark.
Another thing that was brought to my attention is that when we receive grant funding, we have to demonstrate to the world that we received grant funding for X project. And how we do that is through signage. and that we're running out of time as to where on certain projects that we're going to be, and real estate, as to where we're going to put the actual signs. So in this particular case, we're asking for the commission to give us an idea of locations. Now, I didn't take a lot of pictures going around in the park to try and point out some areas, but I do have some suggestions. There are areas like you can see from Hallandale Beach Boulevard and right beside where the rest home is, or the convalescent home, what is the PC term now, but our neighbor next door to our east, there is a tombstone sign there on the other side of the fence. And so we could allow for feng shui and it'd be two there, or there are a variety of places within the park that we can put a sign.
This would be for the walkway that we just completed?
Absolutely. And it was something else too, wasn't it, Mary?
Yes, Broward County gave us a grant for the lighting project. That was back 2018 and 19, and that part wasn't done. So they emailed and asking to have proof that we do have a sign, but it was never erected. So.
And I've already gotten in touch with a firm that can print us one up in short order. We just need direction from the commission as to where you want it, as opposed to me just saying, hey, put it here.
Yeah. So I gave a few suggestions for the lighting. The first one will be for the lighting that was installed back in 2019 in the preserve. And then the other one that, okay, you could put it either as you first enter the preserve on the left-hand side.
Mary, I'm talking to the microphone.
Okay, this is the first location. I don't think it's working.
Which one is the location?
I'm talking to this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's working.
No, I hear you.
Okay.
Just to identify, gentlemen, when you come in through the park, right by the Park Rec building, where you have the kiddie lot on the right.
Is that where you
walk
think
up
is the best
further.
place?
I'm sorry?
Is that where you think the best place is?
I like feng shui, so I like them. It should be one on one side and one on the other side. Wherever there is an empty space, that's where I would put it. The locations that Miriam has pointed out, she likes over here by that.
No, I just totally forgot. I didn't really put it because I like it. Do you remember seeing the sign when you on Hallandale Beach? You can see it. Would you rather have one there?
So if you're
I
asking
really
me my
don't
opinion,
mind. Yes,
yeah,
I'm asking your
my
opinion.
Yes, put one right beside the other sign that's on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. It'd be clear as day.
Right.
And then one. We need two, correct?
For each grant.
Right, for each grant.
Yes.
Okay. And so there are locations here along the walk path, so people will see it, and there won't be any question whether we had it. And there's a tombstone section right where the runoff area, as you first walk past. Put one there on the left side if we have the space, and then move down further where the walking path is to go to the Circle of Honor. We can put another one there.
Okay.
All right.
Are any of these pictures
No, I
what you
think
need?
those are fine.
You okay
Those
with that?
locations are fine. so,
Okay, can
yeah.
you go to the first page for the price?
This
Up,
one?
Up. Gallows signs, and he's proposing $14.77 per sign.
1477 per sign.
No, I understand, but are these like permanent monument signs that we're going to put up?
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
That's another stipulation. They have to last at least 25 years.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that.
Did you want to look at the locations again?
No, the locations that would be one outside of the fence along Hallandale Beach Boulevard, and then one inside that area past the where the opposite of the other one, the other sign is. So it'd be even.
The one outside the fence, is that the one that next to the Ryan Park sign? That's
The one
close to-
outside the fence?
Yeah, next to the church.
So in between the church and the rest home, yes, sir. That's where a sign is at. And if you got Google Earth, you can probably zoom down and you'd be able to see it more clearly. I can probably pull it up on my pad here, but Google Earth works pretty good with that.
Okay, so this is my first time on Google Earth.
So type there.
Wrong continent.
Am I on the wrong continent? What?
Type in 3150 Southwest 52nd Avenue, Pembroke Park.
Right there. Just click on it.
It's 15, not 50.
No, that's fine. And then you can pull it around once it actually comes up.
Oh, look how neat. Oh, I'm nauseous.
And thanks to our IT department, how they are able to,
Click the X.
so if I may, where we're talking about is the sign, so if you can click over here where my finger is. I'll
Where?
go over here to show you on this one.
Where's your finger?
This is Allendale Beach Boulevard
Oh.
here, and then we're talking about location of the sign here. Drag this little man here. Take this little man here.
Mm-hmm.
And drag him over here. Into the street.
All the way to the blue line. The context was lost. You broke the machine.
But I think the commission.
I think
we got
I
it.
understand. I just,
Okay.
you know, where you
All right.
think it
So
should
I
be
just wanna make sure
outside
we
of the
had an
park.
opportunity to see where it was at. Tried to go get it right away here. But that's the goal, is to put it in those two locations, and we should be in good shape.
Yeah, I think they both should be inside of the park, not
Inside of the park?
not out there on the main road. You know.
You got a pretty good location where that new path is, right?
Yeah, I think one should go there. The ones, especially the one for the grant for the pathway.
Okay.
That one should be there. Somewhere else in there.
I'm okay with that. So is that the suggestion to put it inside the park near the new trail?
Yeah.
Then we would have to approve the money for it.
Yeah. And then one more thing is the size is going to be slightly smaller than the big one when you first come in to keep the price down. However, if you want it bigger to include the name of the commission, it might have to be a little bit bigger. So you can have it plain with just the name of the grant and who funded the grant, the year, and that's it. Or you have that plus each one of you.
That's something they also need to vote on and decide?
That at Ralph's discretion.
Yes. We would want that. I was able to pull it up on my pad here if I can approach. That location, and I can identify the other locations also, I think. But it was sitting by itself. That's the reason why I said we could put two there and it would solve the problem. But, and that's on the actual side of where the new trail is, but it's just on the opposite side of the fence.
Give up.
And we would just need to approve the money and then move towards installing it.
And what are we looking at in cost?
It's, can we go back to it?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was 1477, I think it was a piece. So 2954.
2954.
What's going on?
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve monument sign locations, Reserve and Ryan Park.
We're doing the
Totaling-
funding at the same time?
Are we?
Yes, we would have them in succession. No sooner than the funding has been approved, then we would have
Do you
him
need
go
two
for-
motions for this, or just?
We need two
Just one,
motions.
just one.
Just one motion?
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, the locations and just,
Motion to approve the location and the funding.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
And just to add, just as a support, I'll stand it there, take some pictures, and send them to the manager. So I won't be, and then everybody will have the opportunity to look at it. And if it looks completely out of whack, you can say, wait, no, if that's appropriate with the manager and the attorney. Yes? Okay. All right, I'll stand.
10.8. Ranking of CCNA Engineering Consultant Selection and Award Recommendation Public Services Director.
Yes, sir. So we were fortunate enough to get 11 engineering firms to come in, and we're real close to approving all 11. Okay. So it is a recommendation, and I refer to Miriam because she's the hardworking person that looks at all of these documents. My head would explode if I had to read every single one of those and put them in order. But we had an opportunity to meet, and it looks like everything is squared away. We want all 11 of them, and we want them in the pool, so we're requesting commission approval to award them all, and the base ranking. And we went through the ranking. Did you put the ranking? Yeah. Okay. Can you click on it? Evaluation? Final evaluation?
I'm sorry, I'm having a real hard time with the internet. I know. I swear to God, I think it was. It was that Google Earth messed it all up. Now nothing moves.
Do you still have that window open?
No, I closed everything out. It's our IT system. I can't get it to come up. This is ridiculous.
Well, I have it up if you need to see it. Do you?
I have it right here.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Keith Beta Jones Group, Calvin Giordano, Kimley Horn, Connect Engineering,
Yeah.
Cameron, Proctor and Cross. It keeps going from there.
And I think this is a big win for the town because it's been rumored that we haven't had this much participation from civil engineering firms or engineering firms, period. And to have this kind of collective is a part of my plan to provide these continuing services for a variety of things for the town. So we're not just pigeonholed. We have the ability to reach out and competitively or be more competitive in the marketplace when we're choosing people we do business with. So my request is to accept it.
Okay, so your recommendation is?
My recommendation is to accept it as is now with the
Keith,
ranking.
Calvin Giordano, Kimley Horn, as ranked?
Yes, sir, as ranked.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt the ranking of the CCNA engineering consultants.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
10.9, milling and repaving of 32nd Street between 52nd and 55th Ave.
Okay, so, gentlemen of the commission, we're running into the same issue as we did on 30th Avenue. Now we're next door here in the Azura complex. We're responsible for those roads, and I've mapped out a section for us to repave. This particular price here is me calling back a company and having them give me a baseline, a GMP, and that's what we're seeking, approval of a GMP of $30,000 to repave the section of road that's been identified in the proposal. And we will continue to try and improve that cost by finding it cheaper if we can, but as a GMP of $30,000 is what we're looking for.
All right, I'll entertain questions.
If I may, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
With, again, a 30% accelerator, because it looks to be just how the market is nowadays.
You're looking at 32.
Thereabouts. 31.8, 32. No, 32.7.
What's this one? How much was this? 25?
74.
GMP of 30,000 not to exceed plus a 30% accelerator.
This is,
This is the GMP to start the procurement process. But in this particular case here, yeah, in
I
this,
understand, so you want to be able to put that in
yes.
So I'll entertain a motion not to exceed 33,000.
Motion to approve milling and repaving of Southwest 32nd Street, not to exceed 33,000.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right, 10.10, 48th year CBD Preserve Playground Replacement Public Service Director.
Here again, we're working towards some. In this particular issue, this is something fun. So we're trying to improve the playground in our preserve park. Let's be clear, it's in disrepair because of sun exposure. So we wanted to use funding, CDBG, to get us a new playground. And pretty much boils down to it. I think during the workshop, I showed all the proposals and everything and what we could get. And there should be a pricing sheet attached to it. And there are, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 different varieties. Or at least there should be 3 different varieties there for us to choose from. Because that's what I requested.
62,000.
61,000, 48,000.
Or I see the 148.
So it's only 2 varieties here. When is it supposed to be through?
How reasonable are these ones that have the canopies over them? They look like they wouldn't hold the wind too well.
They don't.
They look like they'd fly away.
They do fly off, but there's a couple things that we can do. We can take that thing down, and then we don't have to worry about that during a hurricane. But the downside of it is that we may be hit with a surprise tornado in the middle of the night, and then it would take it out. But this is, unfortunately, this is the reality of living here in South Florida. All of a sudden, we can just get a boomer and it just destroys the thing.
But we don't need to necessarily have that type of roof over canopy.
We need to have it. Number one is because of the material under South Florida sun. We could run, and I can't speak to liability, but there's a potential if somebody's child burns their leg on this thing, or their hand and their arm.
It's
So
a
we wanna
safety
do
issue?
everything, Yeah.
Okay.
In my estimation, there is a safety issue, but I can't speak to liability.
The reason our playground equipment was destroyed was because the canopy was destroyed in a hurricane, and they never put another canopy back up.
Damage too much to just put a canopy on it?
It's destroyed.
And I have numbers for replacing the canopy, but I don't think that would satisfy our
that
needs at
wouldn't
this
work.
point.
I think we've passed that point.
Yeah.
This is to apply for the grant, so we can.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we can move forward.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. This is your motion to apply for the grant?
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion that we apply for the grant for the playground equipment.
I second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today, gentlemen. And you have any questions?
None.
Thank you.
Ten point 11, proposal for finance director, consultant, town manager, Jimenez.
I'm requesting approval of the attached proposal from AIJ, consulting firm. Christian has been doing a great job on the day-to-day, but we've got our audit that needs to be closed out. There's a deadline in June for that, and we have to start our budget process. And I'm recommending this company so they can get us started until the new finance director comes in. They can just take over. At that point, I'm afraid we're going to run into these deadlines. And I have these prices at $150 an hour or a maximum of $4,000 a month. If you do the math for finance services, that's, if they were to do it for a whole year, it's $48,000 for the year for a finance director level position. I'm requesting not for the whole year. I'm requesting for 2 months until we have somebody placed just in case we need it.
And I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. When are the interviews for finance director again?
They start this week. Man, I don't know if there's any other.
We have 4 interviews scheduled. 2 are tomorrow and 2 are on Friday. And those are the top 4 candidates that I would recommend for interview, and they have all the experience I believe that we're looking for. It's just a matter of selecting, the best fit, but they're all very, very qualified candidates.
All 3 of you will be interviewing them one-on-one. And then that would come up at the following commission meeting for your approval or recommendation at that point. Or not for your recommendation, but for your appointment. We're really running into some deadlines, and
I realize.
I also think it's important just because if for whatever reason the best candidate that we select wants to give a longer resignation notice to their current employer because they're in a senior level finance position, we need to be prepared for that as well, where maybe it's not a typical 2-week notice and they're here within 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe they're going to give a 3-week notice, and then that means they're here in a month. So it's important to keep that in mind. That does happen with senior level positions.
So not to exceed for 2 months?
Allow me that, and if for some reason it starts getting the snag in selecting somebody, they need more time, then I'll come back to you before the end of those 2 months.
So you're gonna do the interviews then this week? We're doing interviews next week?
Correct.
We can do them virtually?
Correct.
Good with virtual meetings? Okay. You good with virtual meetings on your schedule? Okay. Then,
And we can cut the time as well, depending on, I mean, we could do virtual meetings, but if the manager wants to, you know, only recommend of those 4 that you interview 2 or 3, you know, that cuts the time as well to try to narrow it down as much as possible. So it's possible that we'll have less candidates by the time they get to you.
Probably gonna be all 4.
The consultant here?
No, I did not ask them to come here, but I was just presenting this to you.
Going by the first page, they couldn't even spell our name correctly. So I don't think that's who we want in charge of our finances, to pay attention to details.
Pembroke. We get called Pembroke Pines all the time. Just for discussion,
I don't see it.
I'm okay with 2 months because I see it as if we do interviews, he does interviews this week, we do interviews next week. Then we'll have them at the workshop where we can do our ranking order at the workshop and then vote at the next commission meeting, which will be
Next commission is June.
June 8th,
June 8th.
still 4 weeks out. Yep, and we'd be, the workshop will be on the 25th. So I would say not to exceed 2 months.
The only consultants or the best consultants?
I received another proposal from another consultant, and their prices were much higher. These people have done consulting work for other cities that I know, and one of the partners or one of the project managers on this is an auditor from a major auditing firm in South Florida and their expertise.
I understand, but that mistake bothers me, so I'm against.
Vice Mayor, I can barely hear you.
I couldn't hear what you
Oh,
said.
I said the mistake, the name, it bothers me, and for that reason, I'm against them.
When's the audit due?
I believe it's June 30th, and they still need to review it and take, they accept it, basically.
So, on May 25th, which is going to be our workshop, we will know who it is that we've selected. Yolanda will extend the officers roughly the May 26th. Yolanda? We do a ranking order on the 25th. You can extend the offer on the 26th. And then we can know and vote on the 8th. So giving them here, 1, 2, 3, they'd be coming in right when the audit's due, looking at the calendar. So bringing in this company, when would they start, JC?
I can get them in here next week.
So if we brought them in for 2 months, the 16th, that's literally 6 weeks to the end of June, which gets us within our audit compliance. How many years have we not had our audit done on time?
That's a lot, way too many.
Way too many. So, yeah, we don't want to get that letter again. So, only for that reason, that this will be, we weren't even on time last year, were we?
But I think we were.
No, last year we were on time.
Were we on time?
Yeah.
Last year was the first year we were on time.
The previous,
Yeah.
Okay, last year was the first year that we were on time, so only for the purpose of the audit, I'm actually going to say, or, in my opinion, I think we should agree to this, because getting that letter from JLAC is not a great thing, and we're finally getting this town back to where it needs to be. So, I'm in favor of it for that reason. Because not having that done really puts us in a bad spot again. And coming into another budget year, all it's gonna do is help the consultant out when they get here, because they're still gonna the consultant, the new finance director, is they're gonna have to hit the ground running and get up to speed with everything we got going on here in the town too.
absolutely.
So it takes time to go over the audit, to review absolutely everything in there. So, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt?
I'll second.
Is there any more discussion? All right, roll call.
Motion by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
No.
Motion passes 2-1.
And Ray, I do understand where you're at with that major typo in the town name. I get called the mayor of Pembroke Pines all the time, so I get it. The last thing I want to see is another mistake in our budget and audit and financing, accounting, whatever you want to call it, that whole bit. So, all right. 10-12, upgrade cloud security for IT director, or IT director Pecula.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Clerk Commissioner, Mark Pecula, IT Director. Basically, this is just an upgrade on the security system we have already for our cloud. It's a new component that came out. It's prorated for just about 2.5 years to match what we have already in our licensing. And I'm just asking for your approval.
Again, Mark, you went too fast.
Sorry, it's security upgrades for cloud infrastructure, antivirus, things of that nature. It's a new layer they've come out with.
31 months at $4,904.
Mm-hmm. It's prorated. It's on a state contract. I had it match where our other software from the same company ends, so this way when we renew, everything's nice and clean.
Okay.
Do you need this upgrade, Mark?
Just that upgrade, yes. This is for the town side only. This isn't the police side, just the town side.
That's the same thing. All three the same item?
Yes,
All
one
three
was, I
uploads?
put it up as an HTML instead of just a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, and then one's just the cover sheet.
All right. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to upgrade the security for cloud security.
Motion to upgrade for cloud security?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Where are we at with the servers and network for the police department?
We're about 3 weeks out before we can start really building off of it. We're in the process of just troubleshooting. We finished certain components in the last 2 weeks, and we just have a lot of troubleshooting to do before we start piling on.
All right, so the efforts are continuing on
Oh, yeah.
completing.
Yeah, I've been pretty much doing nothing but.
What's the next step on this?
The next step is some of the things we're waiting on for FDLE, our fiber circuit, to come in. Then we have to wait on the county for them to send us the equipment for the fiber circuit. We have
the fiber now, right?
No,
No?
we have fiber for internet, but the county is bringing in their own separate circuit that ties into all the databases that the chief would need to use for the police department for searches and things like that, background checks, right? And then from that point, once we figure out what the county's doing, we're waiting on the county and some things, they're waiting on us from some things. We'll move forward with the RMS and the CAD system. But pretty much the next phase for me, I would say in about a month, would be getting the rough books up and running. I've had meetings about some of the security stuff that we're going to do on the back end. I'd rather not go into all that, but
Yep,
all
we
that stuff's in
understand.
place, so we kind of roll it out piece by piece. Like I said, the network end will probably be up in about 3 weeks.
About 3, okay.
I mean, it's up now. It's just there's a lot of troubleshooting, doing backups, seeing the logs, things like that. But about 3 weeks before I'm ready to start piling all the new stuff on.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
No, I don't have any.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, this is the addition 10.13. This is for the Cops More grant. This is chief hiring 5 officers for the town of Pembroke Park. Can you explain this all? And is there backup with this?
No.
Thank you.
One of the things I struggle with is trying to figure out how to pay for the Broward Sheriff's Office. I'm sorry, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner, Dave Howard, Police Department. One of the biggest struggles I have is trying to figure out how to pay for the police department at the same time we're paying for the Broward Sheriff's Office. You know, that'll be an onboarding issue, and there's no way around it. The only thing I can do is shorten it as much as I can, as much as it's safe to do so, and get my officers trained to get them on the street. What I'm requesting this evening is to hire up to 5 full-time officers and pay them through the ARPA funds. And that way, you know, we're not paying for both, and their salaries can be reimbursed through ARPA. So, and you just heard the IT director say that in a few weeks, you know, this will be ready and that'll be ready. And FDLE contacted me the other day, and the modem should be here by the end of the month. So that's a huge, huge obstacle. The county informed me that our laptop should be loaded with all the necessary Motorola product by November. And at that point, you know, our RMS will be resolved. And I was re-engaged just yesterday with a local Broward County Chief of Police regarding our teletype issue. So that's all ongoing. And, you know, we're there. We're right there. We're right on the cusp of opening this thing up.
All right, can you explain to the commission the field training process on what that consists of, bringing new officers into a new department and community? So
yeah,
everyone's on the same page.
The Field Training Officer FTO program is a mandated program through the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. It's also an accreditation standard. However, we won't be able to partake in that program because we're a brand new agency. So what I'm doing is I'm working with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and trying to create an onboarding program, because all of the officers we're going to hire are veteran police officers. And we'll go through our policies and procedures with them. We'll go through our field training briefs, which they would do with a field training officer, but we'll do it in a classroom setting. And, you know, and get them spun up as quick as we can, as safe as we can.
Okay, and so you're asking for 5. What are?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Up to
What
5.
I handed you was the commission approved salary ranges as
Yeah.
created by Human Resources. These 5 officers have all agreed to onboard full-time at $50,000 a year until such time the police department's open, at which time they'll revert to their salary. And of course, I'm requesting it be reimbursed through ARPA, and so it won't cost the city anything.
All right, JC, ARPA funds?
That's up to the commission. I'd have to just double check if it can be used for salaries. I have to double check that, but I'm not sure. I'd have to check that.
Yolanda, what are we looking at total-wise if we brought them in at 50 per officer? Is that about 75 with benefits and everything? I see you doing math. About 75 per? Yeah, yeah. I'm just looking for a ballpark on it. Okay, 75. That's for a whole year. What's our anticipated opening?
Unfortunately, it's out of our hands at this time. It's up to the county. And if FDLE comes through at the end of the month, we should have our RMS system in place and ready to be trained on. That's going to take a 1 week, 5 days of training for every policeman here. And there's nothing I can do about it. That's mandated by the state because it's a state program. And, you know, various trainings with the county, the radios, et cetera. So if they have our laptops done in November, then we can start hiring and get open.
When did he say? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm exhausted. 3 weeks on laptops? Did you say?
That's what he's
What?
doing. That's not what the county's doing. What
Okay.
he's doing has to be done before the county can do it.
Okay. All right, so you're looking to onboard 5.
Up to 5.
And this gets us to qualify for the Cops More grant.
Yes.
All right. And the Cops More grant is how much?
$8 million potentially. Well, if we go with the numbers as provided by the town manager's consultants, that'd be $8 million. If we go less, it'll be a little less.
Okay. And how long is it going to take to get the officers up to being able to work the actual road? How long?
Oh, the onboarding process?
Yeah.
I reached out to HR previously, and she'll be a big part of that. And but there's too many variables right now. Like I said, the software people want 1 week. The county's going to want a day for radios. There's just a lot of little things that have to be taken care of. So, 6 weeks, a month, 6 weeks. Rough estimate.
Okay. Thinking more 2 months. 2 months per cycle of onboarding. And we can't apply for this grant without having these individuals on? Is that what I understand?
That is one of the key recs, yes.
Okay. So if ARPA funds can cover these positions, hold on, let me do some quick basic math.
We don't know that though, right?
What?
Funds will cover it or not, right?
I'll be finding that out.
6250. So you're looking at about 6250 a month, times 5, 31,000 a month. And how long are we going to use ARPA for?
Until we get open.
Okay, so
I mean, training information has to be built, lesson plans have to be written, and of course, you go out, you ask other agencies what they're doing, you collect them, and you tailor them to yourself.
So we're looking at 31,000 a month. So we're in May, June.
Wouldn't start till June.
June, where that's 5 months out. About 156.
Were you counting the benefits in there as well?
Yes, that's benefits in there as well. So that's 156,000 for the 5 officers, but that puts them on. So after we have those on, are those going to be just straight officers or those higher ups?
No, they're eventually going to be higher ups.
Okay, they're going to be higher up, so their pay will change. So if we used October 1st as a start date, so August 1st, we'd be onboarding the rest of the officers, right?
Yes.
Thought we already said something about November was the.
Yeah, the laptops, but they need to be hired, and we can begin the onboarding process. So when the laptops are done and the training can be done, it's all about timing, et cetera. That's what the county's saying now is maybe November.
They're good like that, huh?
What do you think, Ray?
Questions? Waiting on you.
Go ahead.
All right, so Chief.
Yes, sir.
You said 5 officers. How'd you come up with that number? It's just.
Vice Mayor, I'm
their
sorry.
minimum-
I need you to speak into the mic.
Their minimum number of officers
Yeah,
that
that's
you have
the
to qualify for the grant?
Yes, sir.
5's the minimum.
It's actually 6.
Okay, so they won't be full officers because we technically don't have a police department,
No, technically we do have a police department.
but they can't patrol, right?
They can, but it wouldn't be safe. They don't have radios. They don't have,
Well, I'm
the
just curious.
communication.
So if they're here, what will they be doing? Is what I'm curious.
Administrative duties.
So last 2 months, so are we going to be onboarding everyone the same way? At like, what'd you say, 50?
No.
50,000 and
No.
then start just these original 5?
That's correct.
Okay, so, and this gets us the ability to qualify for the grant.
Yes, sir.
Grant's a one-time thing.
No, sir. They do it every year. Different years get different funding, and right now there's a lot of funding for police due to the defunding movement, et cetera. However, this will be, if we're going to start a police department, we're going to hire a bunch of policemen, and now would be the time to get the grant. It would give us the maximum grant. I mean, later on, next year, if I have, if we decide, you decide, maybe we need 1 or 2 more policemen, I'll go back and get another grant for those 1 or 2 policemen. But that won't allow us to get the maximum, as I said earlier, potentially $8 million over a 3-year period.
Let's see, if the ARPA funds cover it, I'm for it. It gets us going forward, and it gets the, I'd say the.
I know a lot of
trainers
agencies are
trained.
using the ARPA funds for payroll.
They're used, my understanding, it's used for premium pay, it's overtime, and some bonuses, but I have not heard of straight-up salaries and benefits.
I couldn't see government funds being used for bonuses, so.
Oh, well, there was,
Government funds are used for bonuses all the time.
yes, it's been used for bonuses, like they've given, like, to police officers that had to work during that, they give them.
Bonuses are allowed in the Florida statutes.
Okay. What do you guys think?
What's the process,
JC, how long?
JC, what's the process of finding out what the ARPA covers? I mean,
I can find out by tomorrow if.
That was my question.
I can find out tomorrow if ARPA funds are used. They can be used.
so if we can use this, should we just table this item until we get a,
That's up to you. I would prefer that, let me get the answer.
Well, if we do that, then it goes all the way out till June, but I just got, notice ARPA funds can be used, because I asked earlier,
The grant's due by June 20th.
ARPA funds can be used for police. JAGS course and ARPA guidance laws for law enforcement funding, I have it all right here off, what it can be used for. So,
salaries?
So I have a short answer. It says here that I'm looking that salaries as long as it's used for a ARPA-related project. But I think if you want us to give you a more accurate answer, we would have to do it. Give it to you tomorrow after we've had some time to look at it.
so one option we could do is we could vote to approve it, pending the ARPA funds, and have the town manager and attorney put the legalities together and submit it all to us. And if it doesn't cover it, then it doesn't go through. We can make a motion that does that.
Legal, Melissa? Can we do it that way?
It depends on how the motion is worded. You can make a motion dependent upon something, but, so we could do it that way. But I think you can do it that way, but I'm hesitant to, I think we can do it that way.
We're doing a not to exceed 160?
Okay, I gotta remember how you worded it. It was, you're doing 50,000 per year? Or a salary of
50,000, which is 5,000 less than a beginning patrolman right out of the academy.
Okay, so 5,000 until the start, and then their salary is adjusted to their position.
Right.
I thought I heard. Okay.
All right, so JC and I are we'll do more research tomorrow. I don't think it's gonna cover basic salaries. Everything I
Says
see, it has to be.
hiring law enforcement officials.
Well, I'm looking at some questions. Again, this is all scattershot research because I'm just looking it up on Google. From what I see, at my first glance, it can only be used for salaries specifically related to public health during COVID-19, but we will do a more thorough research.
I have an answer for you tomorrow. Early tomorrow.
Okay. Then
call them up.
We probably have to get on the
Accurate.
website and figure it out. It's hard to do during a public meeting, on the fly.
10:02, but I'll have the answer for you tomorrow.
So then we can just approve this contingent upon the ARPA, or contingent upon the findings of the ARPA at a salary of 50,000 per, 50,000 per officer until their salary is adjusted at department opening. Is that worded right?
Sounds right.
Does that sound right?
Let Commissioner Hodgkins do it.
All right.
I
Did
think
you get all that?
I think it is.
I see you taking notes, so.
I am taking notes. Are we approving the full amount?
Yeah, the 50,000 for 50,000 salary per officer to the start date of the police department, where their salary will be adjusted
We figured that was
accordingly.
right. But we came up with a figure of
Yeah, we came up with, well, now that's a round number, that's not a solid number, because I estimated 75,000 per officer, that includes benefits. So that was one.
375.
So it's 31,250 a month. A month times 5 months, that's 156.20.
That's what I had,
Okay,
156.
156.
Say not to exceed 160, just to.
Yolanda, what do you think on the benefits side? Would that be enough?
It's 27%.
Um, 67,500 right there. And insurance?
Depends on family size and all that, right?
Yeah, if it's an individual family. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Right. Average it.
And some people don't get it at all, right, because they're covered under another plan.
Let me do this.
And then you have to add the 7.65% in Social Security and Medicare taxes.
7.65.
7.65.
These in addition to the reserves?
Hey, they're probably going to be the reserves.
750.
And what you're calculating now is salary and benefits. Remember that
Right, I got it, I got it.
there are operational costs as well that the chief has.
They're looking at about 7,000 per officer. 5, that's 35,000 a month times 5 months. About 175. That right? Sound about right? Yeah, it is.
I can
175 for the 5 months.
verify those numbers tomorrow.
Yeah, 175 for 5 months.
I say how you want to word this so that you can proceed forwards, so that we can make it contingent on,
Going.
whether ARPA
Yes,
will foot the bill.
that should be the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that should be the motion.
Yeah.
I've been trying to look it up, so I haven't been
Okay.
following all the details.
All right, I make a motion that not to exceed 175, as long as ARPA covers the cost.
I second.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkin, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
What's that? Old business, 11.1. BSO Sixth Amendment to the Agreement, Town Attorney Anderson.
Right, so I had a discussion with BSO, and they told me that if we do not approve this amendment, that they will be leaving the town. Period, point blank, so, which is when the original contract. So that, the options are, I mean, I would strongly recommend that you guys approve the amendment. It's gonna take us through the fiscal year.
Informed that November might be a startup date, so it covers us through that.
Well, here's the thing. We're on a month-to-month contract with them.
Mayor, you need to approve the amendment, because if you don't approve the amendment, you're not gonna have police services through the end of the fiscal year. I mean, you can debate it all you want, you can go over the specifics, but I am.
So basically, the attorney for the sheriff's department is saying, sign this extension or we're gonna terminate your services.
No, he's saying that you wanted to know the answer, what was gonna happen, and the answer is, we're gonna leave, like we said we were in June. If you wanted, that's the answer. There's no debating it, there's no arguing about it, that's the answer. They either leave in June, or they stay here until the end of the fiscal year, and we get 3 more months to figure out what's happening with the police services in Pembroke Park.
So,
And if we don't approve it, June is next month.
I realize. So I just want the
And
commission to be
I
aware. I'm
think,
talking.
no, because I want to finish my point.
Okay, fine.
My
Finish your
point
point.
is, the town is going to be left in a mess, and we're going to put ourselves on the hook for a tremendous amount of liability if we do not have adequate police coverage. And I'm saying that now, on the record, that's my legal opinion.
Are we on a month-to-month contract?
No, we're not on a month-to-month. I'm not going to debate this
No,
with
I'm
you.
asking you a question. Are we on a month-to-month contract?
I don't know what we're on, but all I know is that they're leaving in June if we don't sign this amendment.
But you're our town attorney. I just
Sir,
asked
I'm
if we're
not
on a
going to debate
month-to-month
this.
contract.
I'm not going to debate the subject with you. I
But
just told you
that's
the
a serious
answer.
question that you should know the answer to.
I don't
because
know
you've
the
been
answer. I'm
dealing with the
telling you the
contract with the
contract
sheriff's
ends in
department.
June unless we sign this amendment, unless we execute this amendment. The contract ends in June, which means we won't have any police in this town at the levels of service that we need them to provide health, safety, and welfare to the residents of this community if this amendment is not executed.
What's the level of the service?
I have no idea. I don't know the contract by heart.
Apparently, you don't know the contract.
Alyssa,
at
do
all.
we have a copy of the contract somewhere?
The contract is very convoluted. We are on a month-to-month, well, no, we're not even on a month-to-month. We were on a year-to-year, and then the sheriff's office canceled it. But it was supposed to end in February, and then they agreed to extend it. Okay? And this is why they're asking us to execute an amendment, so we can formalize that extension. It doesn't matter whether it's month to
Exactly,
month.
yeah.
They're here,
I
they've
understand,
agreed to
okay.
be here, whether you call it month to month. I don't know what you want to call
Right.
it, but the bottom line is they're here until June, and if the town doesn't execute and doesn't approve this amendment, they leave.
Yeah, we do need to do that.
Attorney Anderson, did you find out what happened after the end of the year? Say we sign this
When the fiscal year
contract?
ends, they're
Yeah.
leaving. And we will not have a guaranteed level of service from the Broward Sheriff's Office to respond to our service calls,
But they
period.
want a contract till the end of the year.
But we will, if you approve the amendment, we will have a contract until the end of the fiscal year.
Which we need.
That's till September 30th, 2022. I think September 30th.
My question
30
is,
days
what
is
happened
September.
after that date?
Well, it's up to this commission what happens. You're trying to get a police force together and pay for it, and that's happening. At the same time, you know, we've got a budget from BSO. We know what that number is gonna be, what they've proposed. And so that's also an alternative. I do not have a crystal ball. I do not know what is going to happen, but I can.
What's that contract?
Sorry?
What's that contract?
What contract?
The one you're just talking about, the next one.
No, they, every year they submit you the budget, what it would be, police services would be for the following year. And they did that with both fire and police for us.
Well, I remember sitting in a conversation with you and I, and they said new contract would be 5.4 million.
That's continuing the same agreement that we currently have, that's the separate with the West Park, but they give that to us every year. What that document that she's referring to, they gave us a budget for if we were to continue the same.
Ray, do you ever remember approving, since you've been here, we came here March of 19, ever approving a one-year extension with BSO?
I recall.
I don't recall ever approving an extension. We were on a month-to-month. That's all I've seen since I've been here is a month-to-month.
Well, if you want to, well, look, it's up to the commission. I told you what my professional opinion is. I told you you're subjecting yourselves to liability because you're not guaranteeing the levels of service in this town that you've had, which apparently, you know, the commission is not happy with. I understand that. But it's better than not having any levels of service guaranteed at all. So it's my professional opinion that you should probably approve the amendment. It's up to you whether you do or not. But I've stated on the record now, and it's your decision.
I would like to say that I think because of some of the problems that we've had and delays that we've had in trying to get the police department up and running, that it's probably wise for us to get this amendment in place, or at least we're protected till the end of the year. And hopefully, you know, we're on track by then and have something rolling of our own.
I'm just afraid they're gonna jack up the rates after September 30th, because we have to get into a new contract with them.
But didn't they send you a proposed budget?
But that's if we continue, that, I'd have to speak to them and see if they would.
Well, that's the question I had the last time this was brought up. What happened after September 30th?
At that point,
If we need their
it
services.
would be a new contract.
Right, which might be.
Unless you authorize me to negotiate to stay in the same contract.
But Ray, just understand that we have to be protected until then.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I just don't want, when it's time to renew that, now
Well,
it's
hopefully,
$5 million.
we're supposed to have a police department by then.
Well, that's still up in the air.
Know what to do because there is these two conflicting directions. If it were up to me, I would already be negotiating a contract with BSO. But that's not what's happening. And then I could give you a better answer. But, you know, there's not really been a direction one way or the other. It's these two competing paths. And So again, if it were up to me, I would already be, and I have actually read the old contract, and I'm ready to negotiate a new contract, and I'm ready to negotiate better terms, but the town is in limbo. And until the fish are cut bait, it's going to continue to be in limbo. And it could be that rates rise. I don't know. But it's hard to give you an answer what happens after the end of the fiscal year. But I can tell you that, I can tell you this, that if we, that next month is June, and that they will be leaving in June, unless the town executes this amendment, which will at least give the town coverage until the end of September or the end of the fiscal year. And in the meantime, I can go and start discussing numbers and terms with them, but that's been not encouraged because again, there are these two competing paths that the town has been exploring.
It's like negotiating with terrorists.
Yeah.
It really is. Dealing with them has just been nothing but a
No,
nightmare.
I agree with you, too.
This is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it.
That's your opinion. My opinion is they're fine to deal with. It's just,
They're an absolute pain in the ass to deal with.
Mayor, it's the worst of two evils, so we have to pick one to cover the town.
I get that.
So the only way we're going to do that is to get this amendment in place and get us through till the end of the year, and
All the delays
and
that we've
hopefully,
had with the police
and
department
hopefully,
have just been ridiculous too.
well, there's,
All right, let's
they're
move on.
not all.
It's gonna be
So
all
I'll
night.
entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the call,
Sixth amendment to the agreement.
Sixth Amendment to the agreement with BSO.
I'll second.
Roll call. Is
Motion
there any
ma-
more discussion first?
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
I'd like to take a second to recognize the two BSO deputies that are here. This does not include you two. It is the executive staff of the Broward Sheriff's Department that we're having issues with. It's not the hardworking deputies out on the street. It's not you guys that are here in this room. We understand what you're dealing with because I've been dealing with them for 3 years as well. I just wanted you guys to be aware of that.
And honestly, I mean, I've met with BSO, and they're delightful to deal with. And these people in back are delightful to deal with. So
You're telling me Lee Fudge is delightful to deal with?
I have had nothing but good relationships
You're
with
the
Broward
only
Sheriff's
one.
Office.
Maybe because you're both attorneys.
Okay, I understand that you've had negative experiences, and I appreciate that.
I've had nothing positive with that man. All right.
Okay.
Next item, 11.2. Interim Police Chief.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, earlier this morning I submitted to you a memo along with a document that was emailed to my office about 2 weeks ago. That document is a court document, a court order signed by a judge from a county up north. In the memo, I detailed what was in that document. Upon reading that, I wasn't sure what to do. I wanted to protect, obviously, the employee that was mentioned in that document.
I think I'm going to stop you right here.
Please let me finish. And so I submitted my memo to you all. I met with I spoke with each of you individually about it. And again, this is the commission's decision. If you guys want to do nothing with it, that's fine. If you take my recommendation, that's fine. I have a duty to present this information to you. That's what I have to say.
One, I got a lot to say about this. I did have a discussion, I met with JC this morning regarding this matter. I believe it's an embarrassment to this town and a civil liability that the HR, our town attorney, and our town manager have opened up to this town by entertaining this. This involved a civil matter in a family of lost of loved ones, something that has absolutely nothing to do with this town whatsoever. It was sent to the town by the opposite party. It should have nothing to do with this town. It shouldn't even be discussed with this town. I think the three individuals that brought this forward, I think the town needs to separate themselves away from it due to liability reasons. And those three individuals should be held accountable if any civil allegations come forward to those three, because I do not believe the town should even be entertaining this. I've seen this happen in law enforcement myself several times over. This is not something that affects him. This does not affect his job. This is something to do with this man's personal life over loss of his parents. This is not something the town needs to be discussing in a public forum, and not something the town needs to be discussing over someone's position. Let me give you an example. There's an individual, whoever it may be. I'm going to use the town clerk since she's giving me a dirty look at the moment. I can file a civil lawsuit against this woman for multiple reasons, all made up. Doesn't matter. We file a civil lawsuit, and that lawsuit's there. Then I can go to the media. I can get that story into the media. It's not true. It's just allegations, like it or not. Then I can go to her employer, file that suit with her employer, say, listen, this person did this, 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 and this. It's credibility. It's up to your determination if there's any credibility to it whatsoever. But
The judge that signed it had no
it's a civil
credibility?
lawsuit. A judge is going to sign a civil suit.
It's-
It's a civil.
An order signed by a judge.
Okay.
Evidentiary testimony.
So,
and documentary testimony.
Yolanda, when did you become aware of this?
I would have to go back to my emails to see the exact date that it was
It was
sent.
like a week and a half ago.
Approximately a week and a half ago.
Were you informed of this before this person was hired on?
No.
You weren't informed that this person was involved with court proceedings?
No.
Not at all. This person has a stellar work history. And the fact that the town manager, the town attorney, and HR are even entertaining this fact, to me, is just absolutely disrespectful. And it is, I'm embarrassed for the three of you.
Sir, we would,
Hold on a second.
no, we would have been remiss in our duties to not
I
inform
disagree.
you.
I disagree.
Okay, well, you can disagree, but you're not an attorney.
No, I'm
I'm a
not.
town attorney.
Guess what?
And-
I'm the town mayor, and this is the meeting we're having.
Okay, but I'm telling you why we're bringing this to you.
Okay, I didn't ask you to speak yet, so sit there and wait. You'll have your turn.
Great, go ahead.
If I offer that back to you.
So you don't want my opinion as your attorney?
I don't, not at
On
the
what your
moment.
potential
Well,
liability
the
is?
rest of us
Now,
might,
see,
Mr. Mayor.
I think the three of you, I think the town needs to separate themselves from this.
Well,
And the three of you, if a lawsuit does come towards this town, I don't think you three should have any protections under the town
Okay, but
under a
we're
civil suit.
discussing, that's not what we're discussing. If you want to fire the three of us, you should make that a separate motion and
You
a
also can
separate
submit
item.
resignation letters too, and I'm okay with that as
If
well.
if I
I don't
may
have
just
any
jump in
plans
here
to
always
real
open
quick,
for that.
because during my meeting earlier with the mayor, I'm trying to do my job, present this to the commission. There are details in there that pose potential liability to the town. I'm presenting it to you. Do you what you will with it. during my meeting with the mayor, he did threaten us. He threatened me. He said that he's going to call for my resignation, the town attorneys, and the
And
HR.
I'm embarrassed for the three of you and this behavior. I really am. If you don't look at the other side of this, on this is just someone just trying to continue to attack an individual. That's the way I'm looking at it. You may not see it the same way I do, but I see it a whole nother way than you guys do.
I have a duty to let you know.
Yeah, you do.
I actually think that the town should have known of any kind of impropriety or thing like that that happens, because
They were made aware of it.
Regardless of,
No, sir, we
just
were
because
not.
somebody
We were
robs a bank and then nobody knew about it, doesn't mean he didn't rob the bank. You know what I mean?
I can tell you as the town attorney that we felt we had a duty to bring this to the town. We did not go looking for it.
Yeah,
It was
and
given
this
to.
was a
Excuse me, I'm
personal-
talking. Now I'm talking.
You're done.
No, I'm not
Yes,
done,
you are.
sir. No, I am not.
Yes,
I
you
am
are.
explaining to you why we brought this to you.
You're done talking.
Let her
No, I am
finish,
not
please.
No.
done talking.
I'm running the meeting. No, I'm not going to listen.
Not done talking. I'm
Listen,
telling you
this
why
is
I'm
a
bringing.
family matter that never should have even made it.
This
made it here
document, I'm
over the
telling you-
death of loved one. What happened if it was your parent
So you're telling
and
me
your
you-
family
So
relations?
you're telling me you don't want you do not want the opinion of your attorney about your potential liability? You don't want to know that?
Honestly, when it comes to this matter, no, I don't.
Oh, okay,
No, I don't.
great.
Okay.
I'm glad
So-
we've got that
Well,
on
you should
record.
Yeah,
recuse
we got it on
yourself.
the record
You should
because
recuse
I really
yourself, sir.
I really have trust
That-
issues
that's
right here
very
with several
sad
people.
because this document could put the town in a potentially bad situation.
And
not
exactly the
just
same thing you're doing
liability-
as well.
Excuse me.
You're doing
and
the
not
same
just
exact thing.
No, sir, please.
Yes, you are.
And not just liability on the part of the town. Any criminal prosecution that took place could be picked apart by a criminal defense attorney. They get a hold of something like this. That creates a whole host of liabilities and problems.
I know firsthand.
Let me finish, and then
Firsthand.
I will keep my mouth shut after this. And it is my duty as your town attorney, and his duty as manager, and her duty as HR director to inform you about the liabilities that your employees can bring to the town, and that is what
Been
we are
so
doing.
informed.
And you can do what you want with that
Been so
information.
informed. Thank you.
I'm going to shut my mouth, and you can prattle on now.
All right, I do agree we should have known if it's something pertaining to a town that could possibly be a liability. But I read the memo. I unfortunately didn't see the backup, but I did read the memo, and it is a family dispute, pretty much, and I don't think it warrants termination. But I do think instances like this, we should be informed.
All I was trying to do.
Let me add something to this, if you don't mind. I went through something very similar to this. My brother got down before my dad passed away, cleaned out the bank account, $480,000 plus, blah, blah, blah. I probably felt the same way. I probably would have said something that the chief might have said. I can be there, but what I can't do is I don't want to overlook the fact that there was several attempts to withdraw money from accounts that was not his. He was not authorized and should have never have any access to, and kept repeatedly trying to draw money from them accounts. And I'm not. That's, to me, that's just bad character and was illegal, and obviously he wasn't allowed to do it. So.
Guess only he can answer that question.
Yeah,
He might have
but I'm just saying
reasons.
it's a legality and a trustworthy issue. The position he holds is a very high position in this town. It's like second from the mayor, I would say, probably, as far as, and we need trustworthy people that are not going to be.
I agree, but that doesn't mean he was.
Let me explain something I told the town manager earlier this morning. There's one person in this town I trust with my life. I trust that person with my family's life. That's the person we're discussing. There's not another person in this town I would trust with that whatsoever. Not one person I would trust with my family's life or mine.
Should I call and warn them?
What's that? There's one. There's one person. That person had a stellar career too. I disagree with this. I think this is nothing more than family matter that should never have even come to the attention of the town.
But it did.
Mayor, may I ask a question?
No.
You can ask me.
I'll ask after the meeting.
I'll entertain a motion.
And for what?
Whatever you want.
If there's
I
no
mean, just let it die.
if there's no motion,
no
it
motion,
fails.
We need
Just
to have
dies.
a motion.
There's no need for a motion if you don't want to make a
But
motion. anytime.
I would like to know, as an employee and a staff person, is this information, I mean, you know, to be threatened with my job when I am given a document like this. I like David. I think he's a good guy. I'm going through similar stuff with my family. I understand that there's drama. But I want you to understand, as a professional, people, when you do things, you know, it's going to come back to you professionally. I don't think any of us wanted to bring this to the commission, but we all felt like we had a duty because we're your professional staff, and we need to let you know about potential liabilities.
We can agree to disagree on that.
Your Honor, Mayor, I'm asking, do you not want us to bring you things that affect the potential liability of the town?
Things that affect the potential liability of the town is one thing, yes. But family personal matters that are.
Let me tell you what
do not-
happened recently to an attorney in South Florida.
Do they work for the town?
It's an employee, it's an example of what happens in a court of law can be used against somebody in a professional capacity. And it happened recently. So I want a clear indication. If you don't want to know about about any potential liability you may be bringing on yourselves because of an employee, then we should know that, and I guess that we won't bring you any potential liability issues. Because to have my job threatened because I'm trying to keep the town safe, I mean, that's a shock. That's a revelation to
My
me.
point is you're feeding into the family problem, and it shouldn't be here.
I'm not
It
doing
shouldn't be
anything
here
except
being discussed.
taking a document that was
It should
sent
not be
to-
here being discussed.
That's not
It should
true.
not be here being discussed. Go ahead, Yolanda.
That I would just like to add to what Melissa is saying, that I do believe, and obviously I was hired to provide you with recommendations based on our staff, based on our employee culture. And I do believe that if bringing something forth to the commission, which is a professional recommendation, right, which is what we were hired to do, which is our job, if this is happening where now senior level staff members or service providers such as myself are being told that our services are no longer needed, right, or in their case where they're no longer employed by the town if they were to engage in this again, right? This is what creates a toxic environment, and it's actually borderline. Instead of toxic environment, it's a fearful environment where employees might be afraid to come forward and say something, and it trickles down from this meeting to the management, to the directors, all the way to the employees, and it's something to consider.
Yeah, well, you know, when I had an employee or a director come at me out of a chair one day, that person should have been walked out of town hall that day, never to return. He was given 2 more chances and didn't even comply with his chance after that. That's the stuff that needs to stop, because that affects the town. That's the stuff that needs to stop. There needs to be consistency when it comes to discipline in this town. So we're going to end this. We're going to move on to number 12 for discussion.
And for the record, we do want you guys to come forward with potential liabilities and any useful information.
That's all I want to know. That's all I want from
Just
from
to make
y'all.
it clear.
Right, discussion, food drives. These are the tentative locations and time over at the Preserve. June 25th will be our next one, August 27th, December 3rd. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
I think there was, when there some issues with the dates, one of the dates?
Which one? The June 25th?
Yes, and I'm waiting for a potential date from Stevens South Florida because West Park does their food drives every month, and they have a food drive on the 25th.
Okay.
So those are tentative dates.
So these are tentative dates,
Yeah,
subject to change?
And they're not in stone.
Okay. So next workshop, will we have?
We'll have something. He said he'll talk to me about by this week, by Friday. I'll know something.
Okay. And there'll be 11 to 3, midday hours?
Correct, with my volunteers.
All right.
The only thing I need from Public Works is them putting out some tables.
The tables?
Yeah, so that's part of the discussion I wanted to address is that, that when we set these, we're going to have to, because right now in the Parks Department, we're not fully staffed. And because we're not fully staffed, then there is overreaching commitment for these activities that I want to bring to the attention of the town. That's going to cost us overtime and these expenses associated with that. And then there is another commitment that I want to bring to your attention is that there is an air that the other departments are required to be in these functions, you know, and so therefore I want to get some guidance on that as to, you know, are these guys required? Is this a required function for town employees? Because in many cases we got one or two guys setting up every weekend or whenever these activities are coming forward. So that's.
Are you talking about special events?
Consistently at these, the guys have only set up the tables and torn down the tables.
Well,
the rest have been volunteers.
Well, I think there has been support from other staff members, you know, but I'm talking about the requirement piece of it for the department. Per se.
We'll work on this. We'll talk about it.
We'll iron this thing out. All right. Let's just bring those dates forward for the next workshop. 12.2, Chamber of Commerce. Clerk Commissioner?
I recently went to a MPO event, and what I brought out of that was that really struck me was the fact that how the county as a whole seemed to be doing very well with like low-income housing. And as you see all these people losing their homes and everything, we definitely need some low-income housing. I would like to see anybody out there who can do anything to help us find sites and things like that. And maybe the building department can find people and push us in the right direction to see if we can get people interested in getting some low-income housing here in town. Yeah, we do. So maybe we can get a hold of the county and see if we can't come up with some kind of a forward plan to help implement some low-income housing here in town.
Clerk Commissioner, just to bring to your attention, when you went to the cure leaf and the ribbon cutting, that's the mention of the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That
okay.
was the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, that was a Hollywood.
Right, but he
Chamber.
had
I
some.
had to actually, that's another point. When I did go to the Curaleaf opening, the point that struck me was that it was a Hollywood event. It was like we weren't there. Matter of fact, I had to kind of raise my hand and say, hey, what about Pembroke Park? Are we involved in this? And they did acknowledge me then. But it's a great store, nice looking store. I think it's going to be a real benefit to the community, and I thought it was great. So, had a good time. Go check it out.
So you had said that you wanted possibly for the town to get involved in a chamber? Is So is
I
that?
would like,
to
I would
see if
like to see the
commission
town
wants-
getting.
We do have a chamber.
We do?
It's a
Or-
Pembroke Park, West Park combined chamber.
Oh.
And it was stagnant for a very long time. Joy, was it about a month ago? I got about a month ago, she reached out to me, and they're starting to bring the Pembroke Park, West Park Chamber back to life. So,
Good.
we are members of the Hollywood Chamber, and I believe the Hollywood Chamber too.
Hollywood was there full force. They
Yeah.
were there full
They
force.
are, and Hollandale Beach as well. They're very active, but.
Would have
there
been
was
nice to see,
a little more of our town there.
yeah,
I
like
agree.
have our town mentioned.
I agree. So the one big thing that would help our town out is if we had a post office annex in the town.
We sure would, yeah, that would help a
If we have
lot.
an annex in the town that established us with a zip code of our own, because right now we have 2 zip codes, one is Hollywood and one is Hollandale. So it's 33009 and 33023. Those are the only 2, right, JC?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have trouble going to the transfer station because they always say, oh, you live.
Oh,
you
and
can't come
021,
here."
021.
We have 021 as well? The park? The park, okay, we have 021 as well. But having an annex, bringing in an post office annex would help the town out drastically in that area. So, but those other 2 chambers do send invites to us when they do have events.
Uh-huh.
I've attended several events in Hollandale and Hollywood both with them. So when they come forward, I'll make sure the town clerk gets them to everyone. So,
And you're also,
we haven't seen much come through in a while.
are you going to the opening on the 12th?
Why I'm here. All right, do you have anything else on that one?
No, I'm good.
13, attorney reports.
Nothing to report.
14, manager reports.
I have 2 things. The town planner position, I had a discussion earlier with the mayor, and he brought up a good point. Do you guys want this position to remain at the director level, or do you want it to become staff? And if that's the case, then I'll approach it differently.
So I had a meeting earlier with JC discussing this same thing. I don't think we need a director level town planner here. That
Like a number 2 planner?
like a $100,000 a year planner. I think we need a mid-level town planner. But the thing is, the way our organizational structure is made here, we need to actually move a town planner into
From that until.
into a department.
To a department.
So that way, they're not independent working under the manager, which would imply that they're in a director position.
I got you.
So, therefore, mid-level is, in my opinion, I believe we need just a mid-level planner here for the town that we don't need to be paying, $100,000 plus all the benefits. And
I saw one of the resumes was a planner 2, and I thought it seemed qualified to me, so we'll go with the interviews and
the thing is, we have to change
the structure.
Yeah, you would, if you change it, you wouldn't have, you wouldn't be doing the interviews after
Wouldn't
that.
be doing the hiring.
We'll set it under a department, and then the department head there would.
Oh, okay.
would be.
Yeah.
Right, so if you guys are okay with that, I can continue
fine
that way.
with that.
If-
I'm fine
if-
with that.
Yeah.
And then we'll just give direction to change the organizational structure and figure out where you put the planner at.
Okay, perfect.
Building, right?
Probably.
Probably.
The other, I have to talk to them first, probably.
I think you just got 4 eyes that just rolled at you.
Say what?
If not.
Maybe 6.
Right. The consultant study, I have distributed to you guys for your review. One of you has, requested a one-on-one meeting with them, and I'll be happy to oblige. I just wanted to make sure everybody here wanted, if who wants a one-on-one meeting, and then they will also be coming before the commission to discuss it at a commission meeting, but I don't know if you wanted to meet with a consultant to ask questions.
At the police department?
Yes.
They do virtual?
Yes, absolutely.
Like one, too.
Like one, too?
Can we go back to attorney comments after your comments? I did wanna-
Okay.
Commissioner reports.
I'm done. That was my last.
So I did want to say something. Commissioner Vice Mayor DeVille, going back to your question, and when we were talking about the BSO issue, I'm going to go ahead and I don't know what's, this is very much in limbo what's happening with the police department and BSO. So I feel that I need to at least engage BSO in a discussion about a future contract.
But what happens after?
About let me see if we happen to go into a contract with you, if we were contemplating it, what would it look like? I think because otherwise we're going to get to a point and God forbid something doesn't work out with the police department, you decide not to go with that, then it's last minute. So I'm letting y'all know that I really feel like I need to do that, and I've had this discussion with JC so that we can be prepared for whatever
Yeah, it doesn't
happens.
hurt to have an emergency contingent, so.
So I want to let you guys know that.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I don't want anybody to think I'm going behind anybody's back. I think it's the prudent thing to do, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I would have liked to have had something a long time ago.
That's it.
Thank you.
Commissioner reports. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Oh, good, thank you.
Vice Mayor DeVille.
Go home.
All right, and I have none. Announcements. Special magistrate hearing Wednesday, May 18th, 9 a.m. Charter Review Committee is Monday, May 23rd at 6 p.m. Workshop Commission meeting is Wednesday, May 27th at 6 p.m. Regular Commission meeting is Wednesday, June 8th at 7 p.m. And tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Over at the Seneca Complex, we're having the groundbreaking. If you guys can make it, I'd like to see you there.
Yeah, I already got the invitation and accepted it.
Yep. All right, motion to adjourn.
So adjourn.
Second.
Time's 10:51 p.m.